Attention please, ladies and gentlemen. We will momentarily begin the agenda. Please kindly unmute your mics. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the conference, let us reciting Basmalah or praying according to our beliefs together. Amin. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to first broadly go through the agenda as follows. The conference will be begun by Indonesia National Anthem or Indonesia Raya, then followed by welcome remarks of the conference chairman. Next, continued by welcoming remarks from the co-host of the Second International Conference on Innovations in Social Sciences, Education, and Engineering 2021. Afterwards, it will be continued to the main session. Ladies and gentlemen, the keynote speakers for today's conference. The first speaker is Associate Professor Nguyen Chingon from Kanto University, Vietnam. Then the second speaker is Associate Professor Teddy H. Fauzi, MSc from Pasundan University, Indonesia. And the third speaker is Dr. Memiyanti Abdul Rahim, FCIS, from University Technology Mara or UITM, Malaysia. And next speaker, Dr. Retno P. Setianingrum, SAMM from Pelita Bangsa University, Indonesia. And the fifth speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Avenas Pawar from Pune University, India. And the last speaker is Dr. Rudy Trines from Radboud University, Nijmegen, the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, today's conference will consist of 6 room sessions with the topics social politics and law, management and finance, education, economics and business, engineering and technology, and the last is mixed. And for the first room session, will be led by me, Dila Novita, SSMSE. For the chair of the second room session is Kamila Sadia, SAMAK. Next, for the room session 3 will be led by Reza Anggrias Hati Adara. And for the room session 4 will be led by Dr. Andes Henry Lopias, MSN, or Dr. Avinas Pawar. Next, for the room session 5 will be led by Ibu Melati Mandasari, SPD, MPD. And the last room session will be led by Ibu Tari Jumiati. Prominent speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The conference organized by Leo Scientific Networking, 6 universities as co-hosts. They are STMI Rosma Karawang, Institut Bisnis dan Informatika Wikyanji, Universitas Bina Sarana Informatika Jakarta, Universitas Islam Riau, Universitas Islam 45 Bekasi, Universitas Dharma Wangsa Medan, Sekolah Tinggi Bisnis dan Manajemen 2 Saudara Bitung, dan Universitas Kristen Tentena. This conference is also held by cooperation with Kanto University, Vietnam as our main partners. Prominent speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning for all. Very good morning and warm welcome to the International Conference on Innovations in Social Sciences, Education, and Engineering. Today, Saturday, 7 August 2021. And for the topics conference today, the role of multidisciplinary studies and innovations in facing the complexity of globalization and the impact of the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, opening today's conference, now we would like to invite His Excellency, the Chairman of the International Conference on Innovations in Social Sciences, Education, and Engineering 2021, to deliver his welcoming remarks. Dr. Andes Henry Halupias, MSN, please take your time.
Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Good morning. Goedemorgen.
Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi, Pak Henry.
How do you do? How do you do? I hope you are all well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very happy to invite you as keynote speaker and presenter. I would like to thank to keynote speaker, Associate Professor Nguyen Chingon from Canto University, Vietnam. He is our coordinator, our university cooperation program in Vietnam. The second keynote speaker, Dr. Rudy Trinis from Radboud Universiteit Nijmegen, the Netherlands. Ya, di Belanda masih pagi ya. Hoe gaat met je, Rudy? Ik hoop je gezond. The third keynote speaker is Associate Professor Apinas Pawar from Pune University, India. He has many times to be keynote speaker in our conference. The fourth is Dr. Memiyanti from UATM, Malaysia. Selamat bertemu lagi, Dr. Memiyanti. The fifth, Associate Professor Teddy Hikmat Fauji from Pasundan University. He is my friend from the same university. The last one is Dr. Retno from Pelita Bangsa University, Bekasi. On behalf of the Leo Jejaring Ilmu, I would like to thank to the keynote speaker and all of 70 participants or more. It is very glad for me because there are many participants attend this conference. Finally, we hope that this conference can provide benefit to all our participants. Then the experience of the keynote speaker from various countries can give us a new perspective on multidiscipline and practices. In addition, the interaction between presenters from various universities in Indonesia can provide us new perspective how to develop our academic atmosphere or our program Kampus Merdeka atau Kampus Merdeka Belajar dan Kampus Belajar. And the last, I would like to thank you very much to my small team, but powerful team for their effort to organize this conference. Terakhir, saya ucapkan selamat berkonferensi. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Mr. Henry Lopez, for the welcoming remarks. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia Raya, please be prepared.
negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku, semua.
Prominent speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now present the Honorable Rector of Universitas Islam Riau, Indonesia, to address the welcoming remarks from the co-host of conference.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Good morning everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this international conference in social sciences and technology, engineering, and all other subjects of sciences in the world. We are very happy today, this morning, to welcome you all in this seminar. And also we are very glad to be a co-host conference with all the partners in this event. We are very thankful also to all the invited speakers, the keynote speakers, and all the participants joining this conference. We hope that this conference will benefit for all of the participants and for all of our institutions. First, in the next future, we hope also the collaborations of this participants, keynote speakers, and their partners organize these events will continue for the better of our institutions. Thank you for inviting us, Universitas Islam Riau, joining as a co-host of this conference. We to welcome you all from joining this conference. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Prof. Dr. H. Safrinaldi SHM CL, Rector of Universitas Islam Riau, Indonesia. Prominent speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I present the Honorable Rector of Institut Bisnis dan Informatika, PIKNG, Indonesia, to address the welcoming remarks from the co-host of conference. Dr. Insinyur Hisar Sirait MA, take your time. Dr. Hisar Sirait. Okay. We will continue to the next co-host of this international conference. I now present the Honorable Head of LPPM Esteemik Rosma Indonesia to address the welcoming remarks from the co-host conference. Ibu Femi Effendi STMM, take your time.
Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you to Ms. Dilanovita for the time given to me, and may we be given health and patience during this pandemic of. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today at this virtual conference. It is such an honor for me to speak on behalf of Sekolah Tinggi Manajemen Ilmu Komputer Rosma Karawang as one of the co-hosts. Let me begin by giving you a warm welcome to the second International Conference on Innovation in Social Sciences, Education and Engineering. I would like to express my appreciation to LAO Jejaring Ilmu, Kanto University Vietnam, and also to Gopal Narayan Singh University India, who generously helped us make this conference come true. And also especially to Mr. Henry Lopias as conference chairman. And of course, special thank you to all keynote speakers, Associate Professor Nguyen Chingon from Chanto University, Vietnam, Associate Professor Teddy Hafauzi, MSc from Pasundan University, Indonesia, Dr. Memianti Abdul Rohim from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, Dr. Retno Setyaningrum from Pelita Bangsa University, Indonesia, Associate Professor Dr. Afinas Pawar from Pune University, India, and the last, Dr. Rudy Trines from University Nijmegen, Netherlands. In today's conference, we would discuss and learn about the role of multidisciplinary study and innovation in facing the complexity of globalization and the impact of the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Effort to define the best solution in handling the COVID-19 outbreak do not escape multidisciplinary research collaboration by combining the exact sciences with the social sciences and the humanity. Exact science can be a short-term solution to deal with the problem, such as a coping with COVID-19, but also at the same time, social science over medium and long-term solution. And as we know, to measure social innovation in multidisciplinary research, the European Union then delineated what a concept which entitled inclusive, must be innovative, and also reflective society, sensitive polarization concept in 2018. It mentioned three essential indicators. First, the impact resulting from the research. This must be impact can be measured when research is adopted by policymakers, civil society group, or recognized in academic writing. Second, the study show it is impact when replicated to address problem elsewhere. Lastly, it has a sustainable impact on society. To getting this one, it must go through a research cycle with 5 phases, starting from problem diagnosis, research agenda setting, program implementation, utilization of result, and impact evaluation and assessment. There is a cycle of involvement of various stakeholders from academia, civil society organization, entrepreneur, and also policymakers. Finally, I hope, and also we hope here, that from this conference, we can play a minor role in facing the complexity of globalization and the impact of the post-COVID-19 pandemic, starting from the multidisciplinary study. Thank you to all participants. And I would like to say once more on behalf of this conference organizers, welcome. It is great to see so many of you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ibu Femi Effendi, as representation of co-host from LPPM, from Epistemic Rosma, Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present the Honorable Dean of Faculty of Political and Social Sciences, or Islamic University 45, Bekasi, Indonesia, to address the welcoming remarks from the co-host of conference. And it will be presented by Ibu Dr. Mita Widya Astuti. Take your time, Ibu Mita.
Thank you, Ms. Dila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. Thanks God we are able to gather in this great event. I'm personally representing our Dean and an institution to deliver many thanks for his collaboration with you. Thanks to Mr. Henry Laupias as a chairman of the committee who's already being prepared today events. Our greeting to Mr. Safrinaldi as a president of University Islam Riau, Mr. Hisar Sirait as president of Institute Business and Informatica Kuikiangi, and Mrs. Femi Effendi, head of LPPM Epistemic Rosma, for joining this conference. Also, big welcome to all speakers and presenters for your participation in this event. The second international conference on innovation in social science, education, and engineering is very special event for academic and scientists to deliver this newest research and ideas in social education and technology and share in this order to enhance mutual and understanding in many issues. I hope for the next time such collaboration among us may happen by collaborating in research and other academic activities. Thank you for ladies and gentlemen. Wabil taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I recall again, ladies and gentlemen, I present the honorable, I recall again, I present the Honorable Rector of Institute Business and Informatica Kuikiangi, Indonesia, to address the welcoming remarks from the co-host representative. Dr. Insinyur Hisar Sirait MA, take your time.
Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll be represented from Bapak Rektor Institut Bisnis dan Informatika Kuikiangi. My name is Imam Nur Aryo. I would like to thanks for the all participant in here. So, thank you for your attention. because my rector still in the lack of the condition. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today at this wonder place. My name is Imam Nur Aryo. It is such an honor for me to speak on behalf of the Institute Business and Informatika in Quikiangi. Thank you. That's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Director of Sekolah
Institut Bisnis dan Informatika Quikiangi.
Yeah, thank you. Next, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Now we begin the main session of the International Conference on Innovations in Social Sciences and Education 2021. The topic for today's conference, the contribution of academics, researchers, and educators. Sorry. The main topic of today's conference, the role of multidisciplinary studies and innovations in facing the complexity of globalization and the impact of the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, we have 4 keynote speakers for today's conference. The first is Associate Professor Nguyen Chingon from Kanto University, Vietnam. Prof. Nguyen will present student-led engineering innovations and entrepreneurship education model in Kanto University. And for the second keynote speaker, Associate Professor Tediha Fauzi, MSc from Pasundan University, Indonesia, with the topic Capital Market Investment Strategy in the COVID-19 era. And for the keynote speaker 3, we'll present Research and Innovation, New Norms During Pandemic COVID-19, will be presented by Dr. Memianti Abdul Rahim, FCIS, from University Technology Mara, or UTM, Malaysia. Next, for the keynote speaker 4, Ibu Dr. Retno P. Setianingrum, SAMM, from Pelita Bangsa University, Indonesia. Ibu Retno will present Leadership in Post-COVID-19 Evidence from Indonesia. Afterwards, the next keynote speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Avinash Pawar from Pune University, India. And Mr. Pawar will present impact of COVID-19 on businesses, the implications for future of business in India. And the last but not least, Dr. Rudy Trinis from Radboud University, Nijmegen, the Netherlands. And Rudy will present the role of universities and importance of social sciences, art, and humanities in the post-COVID era. And for the first speaker, we call Associate Professor Nguyen Chingon from Kanto University, Vietnam. Please take your time, Prof. Nguyen.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clear.
Okay, thank you. Let I share my screen.
Yes, sure.
Good morning. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, colleagues and all participants. So you may know that we are locked down the city, and at this time it's really boring for me. Under the command of my wife, I need to clean floor, needs to take care for the garden. Oh, so today I'm really happy to be here to share some information with you about development of innovation and entrepreneurship education model in Kanto University. So my name is Chi Ngong Nguyen. Supply Koningong is easy for you. I was dean of the College of Engineering before, but now I am a vice chairman of the Board of Trustees in Cần Thơ University. Let I change my slide. Okay, so you know that World Economic Forum indicate 10 skills of 2025, and we can look in that. Due to our condition, we try to develop innovative and entrepreneurship skill for our students. So after a very long time, we try to develop some model. The first model we developed incubation center from 2010 to 2015, and it failed. It failed after 5 years because we take the faculty or staff taking the main role in that center. And after that, we found that faculty and staff has no time to follow the center. It's instructive for students and many other reasons from staff and faculty for the failure. After that, in 2018, we tried to develop so-called maker innovation space. And in this model, we both students take the main role activity in this space. Faculty and staff just support or general management only. So after 3 years running, the Maker Innovation Space, it attracts a lot of students from the whole university, not only from engineering side, but also students come from economics, from laws, from social science and humanity, from languages. And I can say whole university students joining in the Maker Innovation Space. And we call that student-led model. Means students take the main role in this model. So we developed the Maker Innovation Space under supported by USAID, Arizona State University, and my university. And we contribute for a big space. I can show you some pictures. The first one, I can talk a little bit about the structure. We only boost for lecturer and staff, 2 lecturer and 2 administrative staff for general management in this space. And most activity, we let students running that. For example, we have a chef of space, Maker Innovation Space, a vice chair of Macro Innovation Space. That is the 4th year student. And some other division, we divide like project division, training division, facility division, event division, and media division, all running by students. And here's some pictures from the innovation space. We offer many tools under the project support by USAID and Arizona State University. We bought equipment, we bought some for mechanical, for electronic, robots, and some other tools for students. When students come here, they can use that tool to build their idea into prototype production. And here some others we call self-study space. Students can take rest can cut together and can read book and so on. You can see a nice place for students. And also we have some space in the garden in the university also, but I don't take the picture here. And the typical activity of the innovation space. The first one, we have students bring their idea into prototype, as I mentioned. After getting prototype, we can connect to industry, try to develop into the real production. We also take some short training, like STEAM training for elementary, secondary, and high school students also, because we consider that they are our future students in the future. And then we try to push them to visit, to take some short training. And after 3 years of running the market innovation space, we can find that the number of engineering student recruitment is increased year by year. In Vietnam, when we select students entering the university, we base on some score from a national examination, mostly consider on math, physics, and chemistry. And we found that many students come to the market innovation space when they're interested with engineering, and after that they register to the university. So the entrance marks, entrance score is increased also. We also offer some STEM training for secondary and high school teacher also. And some other activity like site visit for thousands of students from the region come to our market innovation space. And here's some picture from our student activity. You can see here all students. This is the first year student. They can share their idea and share discussion with the younger. And they also explain some activity with the younger. Or they can use 3D printer to generate their production from design and make the real production by ABS plastic, for example. And this is the picture we take the training for secondary school students. They can come with us, and we can arrange students take the short training for them. And this is some typical product of students. The first was like smart locker, and now they produce and boost into some area that people can boost, or students can boost their luggage inside with the name tag, with an ID or some other like that. This is the hand washer generated by students due to the COVID pandemic. And after the COVID, students found that the muscle of patient is not so good, so they developed the robot hand cavalry. And this is the UVC robot. Students also developed for the active virus in the room, but they can use the hand controller to control. And the robot can generate the ultraviolet light to deactivate the virus, things like that. And here's production come from the idea of student, but we moved into mechanical workshop to generate we call cabinets for COVID sampling. And the technician stand inside the cabinets, and after that they can get the sample for people with COVID-19. And the second one is production for LiDAR sensor-based UVC robots, and it can work automatically to generate the ultraviolet light to the active virus and so on in the room. At the moment, we are training, we are trying to build real product and bring into some isolated region for the COVID activity. And you can see here one small YouTube getting from our student. By the first time, the robots need to learn the room. After they learn, the room will train for the robots, and after that, it can run automatically. And it can detect the obstacle by LiDAR sensor. And during they run into the room, they can generate violet light, ultraviolet light to the active region. And now the industries connect with us, try to build bigger robots for some isolated region in Vietnam. Yeah, just stop the video. So I can say that by putting students in the main roles activity in innovation space, they have time. They can study there, they can discuss, they can build their idea, also sleeping there in the center. And we can find that the model is really successful in the university. Thank you for your attention. And I hope you can share some suggestions for improving our market innovation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Wan, for your insightful and informative presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to the next presenter, Associate Professor Teddy Ha, Fauzi, MSc. Mr. Teddy is a lecturer from Pasundan University, Indonesia. And for today's conference, he will present capital market investment strategy in the COVID-19 era. Please take your time, Prof. Teddy.
Just a moment, Miss.
It's okay. Take your time, Prof.
Thank you. Just a moment. Can you help me, Miss Nila?
Yes.
So I want to say this
Yes.
PowerPoint.
You can
Okay.
share from your side, or you need a help?
Yes. Just a minute. You can just see my my co-host. This is my co-host. This is okay. Just a minute. Can you see?
Not yet shared,
Oh,
Prof.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute. Okay.
Still
Not yet.
ongoing. Still ongoing.
Not yet.
Still progress.
Why?
Not yet, Prof.
Is it okay?
Okay, we can see it clearly. Please take your time.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And I swear to thank you to Mr. Henry, is conference, and Mrs. Tira, the host of this is conference. And all to our participants, good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And last but not least is my friend from India, Mr. Avinas. Good morning, Mr. Avinas. Okay, I want to present about this title about the capital market investment strategy in the COVID-19. We know about this is a problem about the pandemic issue. This is an international problem and global pandemic COVID issue to impact about economic recession. Economic recession impact and then impact to deflation. So we know about this as in the second quarter about 2020 BPS record that the national economic growth minus 5.3%. 5.3% had an impact if weakening of the purchasing power of the manufacturing industry sector, decreasing consumption and investment. So the people in Indonesia people increased by 1.63 million from 24.79 million. This is on 26.42 million people in Indonesia. This is I want to share about how to recover about the economic in Indonesia, economic nation. You know, this is the pandemic issue make the inflation. But the ending of the economic is inflation. So you must to do about how to recover about the Indonesian economy, make the contraction, and then when the economic nation in the world to make the deflation is minus on 1 or 0 or 13%, we must to do about to expansion about money. The economic condition have negative growth because there is not much money in this situation. So you know we know about this economic in Indonesia. The pandemic issue meet Indonesia economic is not much money in this situation. So the government must try to increase about to purchasing power concession, issuing stimulus package of tax relaxation, and banking list loan, basic food package, cash direct assistance. The name is BLT, bantuan langsung tunai. The salary subsidies and government spending, electricity subsidies, micro, small, medium enterprise supplement, and social assistance, and other. Total budget in all of government to trying increase is 405.1 trillion rupiah. The impact of bad deflation for the national global economic in the world too must to declining revenue of business sector companies. For the example, the manufacturing to the trade, housing, and service. Termination of employment, PHK, employment salary reduction, change in customer spending and spending patterns. And then the banking and leasing must be default and unstable IDR too. Tendency to weaken the IDR, exchange rate against US dollar. And then deflation and can lead to hyperinflation. So this is the accumulation of pandemic issue mid deflation can lead to hyperinflation. Why? Because when our money is the first about when the money must increasing in the economic area. So this is to push about deflation and the government how to increase about deflation. So in the ending story is mid-inflation. And then the product competitiveness decline too. So this is impact to the stock about investment in the stock about in Indonesia. The stock price dropped sharply, stifling capital to financial asset capital flight. So many, I think it is all of investor from out of Indonesia and take about our money to out of Indonesia. So this is the name of the capital flight. So the last thing is about COVID-19. The accumulation about the next mid about purchase power down, and then mid deflation, and then good price down. So mid the economic is stop and stop production, almost to stop production. The right item in the market is the government made a stimulus and mid also inflation. The phenomenon of inflation and deflation can provide direction for investor policies. During the certain period, they are faces with investment choice. So I want to say about this is a cycle of investment. You know that in 1 year the investor can should to choices about investment. For the example, the money market or commodity market, capital market or risk sector. It is also in 1 year is how to choose or how to use about the money, how to choose about the money to another investment. This is the symbol about we know about the symbol about don't put our money in your in one basket. This is a topic about this. You know that is the Indonesian stock exchange must decline about is very decline about it. The composite stock price index in May 2019 to May 2022 is very decline. What impact about from the pandemic issue? This I know about this is the economic generated of economy, the graph economic growth post-COVID pandemic. So it is minus 5.32. This is impact to The implied there are several macroeconomic variables that affect capital market. The condition, gross domestic product, mid gross domestic product, inflation, interest rate, and exchange rates tend to have an impact on rising price of goods. This is I put this is about theory about from Tandy Lilin. So this is the opportunity about we hope to that the national economic, we hope that the national economic and the world will recover, and this is opportunity to buy stock with certain categories, such as stock of drugs, for example, stock of drugs, infrastructure, financial, food, digital economy, or information technology. So, you know about this is to inform us about the blue chip stock criteria. You must choose about the stock. For the example is the Mandiri or BCI. This is the capitalization is a big capitalization stock. This is a good branding and reputation, financially secure and experienced, have a large market capital, consistently pay dividends, have good fundamentals, have good liquidity, will become the master of market share, and matter in terms of age. This is utilizing the momentum in share investing. So this is the impact of common pandemic COVID-19. The domestic stock market has fallen by 30% with the capitalization of the composite stock price index reduced by 94.41%. From the state budget, this is you know that 2.504 trillion. So the share market correct year to year is 29.25% to level 4.456. So this is optimistic message for the Indonesian stock market, or the new investor must be opportunity to investing about the stock. Optimistic message for the Indonesian stock market is currently back upward to level. You know, this is back again to height again and to level 6 before in before 4 and height in night to level 6. This is opportunity how to invest about stock. You know that is we want to inform you too about the ratio of population investment stock. The Indonesia is not very better about the investment, the new investment in Indonesia. But this is the most investor in the world. Is United States is 60%, and Malaysia, Singapore 28%, in Malaysia 7%. But Indonesia is only 5%. The investor must be buy a stock. So I want to inform that the increasing number of millennial people interest in first. So these people must. This is a good strategic. Yeah. The investor must use about, you know, that the graphic must be too high. The investor interest from 2016, 2020, 29, 21. The average about 7.5 into 7 to 9.2 trillion. This is now is it 2029 and 2021 is it 20.5 trillion to invest in about stock. And then the increasing about trend of single investor in significant deceit. You know that the new investor this is have a good idea to invest about stock. So the number of seat of data from 2019 and 2021 is must to be high. This is the opportunity to buy about stock. So this is I want to inform you about the fundamental. You must we must do about must to buy about a stock. This is another we must buy the lower stock by the considering fundamental aspect and also big capitalization stock. This is fundamental analysis. You know that about the global and national macroeconomic condition. To compare about growth prospect for the financial industrial sector, employment issue, company performance including measure and increasing investment, and expansion corporate action. The financial ratio must be to compare about return on asset with the equity ratio. This is the financial analysis. And then the technical analysis, the analysis of historical data on stock of movement and historical chart of stock movement in the form of the ability to predict stock movement analysis of market condition. And then the stochastic analysis and then swing trading and analysis is often used by trader as of time as again. So you know that the popular investor is George Soros must to use technical analysis, but the Warren Buffett must use the financial ratio. This is a different about strategy about to invest about to buy about stock. The conclusion about this paper, this presentation, the decline of the composite stock price index during pandemic COVID-19 was still optimistic by reaching 3.937 or to 37.49%. This is from the 5 years value of 6.299. This is compared to 1997. You know that is monetary crisis, touching the level only to improve the 50, the level to 54.17%. The second, the investor and the trader in investing must consistently use portfolio diversification index by taking advantage of the momentum of the time of buying share with start paying attention to the issue fundamental aspect to maximize return and minimize risk. The third, social distancing policies encourage millennials to transact share online, increasing by 21.66% to 3.2 million investors. Thank you. This is for to participation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Associate Professor Teddy Hafauzi, for your presentation. It is so informative with this today situation according to the capital market investment. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to the next keynote speakers. Dr. Memiyanti Abdul Rahim, FCIS. Dr. Memiyanti is a lecturer from the University Teknologi Mara or UITM, Malaysia, and she will present research and innovation, the norms during pandemic COVID-19. Please take your time. Ibu Mimi. Welcome to Indonesia, Bu Mimi.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Dila. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to the participant from the conference, yeah. And thank you so much for my best friend, Pak Henry, for inviting me as a keynote speaker, and all the co-host university, the respected keynote speakers are the keynote speakers, and of course our respected participant here today. Yeah, me, Memianti Haji Abdul Rahim from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. So my intention is actually to present, yeah, on the topic of research and innovation, new norms during pandemic COVID-19, which is everybody aware that now we are in the pandemic or crisis of COVID-19. So this is a real challenge for us, especially for us as academic and also researchers. So for the similar theme, goes for the similar theme of so-called as the innovation in social science, education and engineering. That's why today I'm so happy, and I'm so happy to share with everybody here what is actually have changed from the traditional one to the new norms, the new way people doing work in Malaysia, especially in Malaysia. So, all right. My slide can't move. Okay, all right. So this is actually 4 items, 4 items for my sharing or presentations. Number one is the impact of pandemic COVID-19 on the way we are doing work. Yeah, so I will illustrate what is the existing or at present scenario that with the pandemic, that we have to work from home, and we have to be very creative and critical thinking in doing things. Yeah, and number 2 is actually we like to share innovation product from our research outcome. Yeah, from our research outcome, which is this is actually one particular product from many products. Yeah, that we won gold medal at the international setting. Yeah, so at the third item is actually to have some reflection. Yeah, some reflection that previously we are doing things very, we call it a traditional one. Yeah, everything must be in the method or in the way of face to face, and then you have to be there to present your innovation and so on. But now things differ. Yeah, so I will just only would like to share what is actually has been done since 2009 up to 2021 now. Yeah, so and the last item for my sharing is that what is the way forward for us. Yeah, hopefully the sharing from the reflecting from the traditional one, go to the new one, in the new norms, we shall do something more better, yeah, or better than previous one. Okay, so this is just to highlight the, all right, this is actually the product, yeah. I start with the product that won gold medal at the international setting because it's an easy thing for you. So it's a very small font here, but later on we'll see. I just would like to share with everyone here the video from the organizer that we won this gold medal. So I'm hoping we can listen. Okay, this is actually the organizer website, and this is actually our product, Easy Fin for you. Then I just want to share the video that we submitted for this competition, and we won't go model for this. So Secretariat Dr. Dila, please let me know if the sound of the video can be heard. Yeah, is it okay?
Okay, Miss.
Excuse me, Puan, still can't see the video.
Still
Slide?
Can't see the video?
Yes.
Yes, cannot.
Okay, how? Because this is actually the link
Screen
to the
with
website.
your
Sorry?
Still screen from your presentation, Dr. Mimi.
Sorry?
Not yet turning on the video.
Not turning?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, because on my slide, I can run the video.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, I can't share with the audience. Dr. Dila, is it possible for you to link the link from your web, from your screen?
Maybe you can copy paste to the chat room,
okay.
and I will open it from chat room.
All right. Yeah. That's good
From chat
idea.
zone.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for this.
It's okay.
Okay, that's it. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I will run it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Would you mind to close the
Oh yeah,
screen
my
share
share.
so
Okay,
I can
okay.
open it? Thank you.
Yeah. Hmm.
Dr. Mimi, can you see the slide?
Yeah, but
Can you see the?
I can't. Is it possible to go down because the video is at the bottom of the website? Go down, scroll down.
Which part?
Scroll down. At the bottom.
Yeah.
You scroll down, Ibu Dila.
Ke bawah. Is it okay? Okay, go down until you can see one video. Is it okay, Dr. Dila? Abang.
I think it's in second screen of your computer. Try to share again and share the second screen, I think, because Windows have two screens.
Oh, so it can't be done. It can be done. Otherwise, it's okay. I just present other things. So I think you already get the link. Then you can see it later on. But just I will proceed with my presentation. Is it okay for that? Okay. All right. So I go back to my slide. Yeah. Okay. Everybody can see my slide. Is it everybody can see my slide? Okay, so may I proceed?
It's just your folder one.
Oh, folder. Okay.
Yeah, still not come to the presentation slide.
What happened? Okay. Wait. All right. Okay. I think. Still folder, is it?
In my screen, it's just still folder.
Okay. Wait.
So maybe you open first and then start sharing from there.
Yeah.
May I help to show your video?
Video or slide? Video slide. I can hear one sound. One. Okay. All right. Oh, okay.
It works.
So sorry. So which one you can listen to now?
Yes,
So let's
yes, Dr.
listen this
Mimi,
one.
we can see the video.
Oh, you can see the video, is it?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Information for businesses to assess their financial situation and ways to improve it. Our team are well versed on financing and accounting, and we are ready to provide our consultancy services. Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies are here to work together with companies to maneuver this challenging period.
Okay, that's it. All right, thank you so much. So I will share my slide again. I'm so sorry for this technical. All right.
It's okay.
Okay,
Okay.
just keep enjoying my presentation.
That's the challenge of technology, right? We have
Yeah,
to cope with
the new
situation
norms today.
sometimes.
All right. So this is actually the medal, the gold medal being awarded by the organizer. Yeah. So this is sorry, with the certificate, and this is actually the certificate given by the university for the recognition of us as a researcher to come up with the invention product. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Now, just want to share what actually have been done previously, how we make things traditionally. Yeah, so this is actually the product that perhaps I love to do something new. I challenge myself to do something different, something unique from other things that offered by the other researcher. So this is actually my starting point in innovation works since 2009. Yeah, so it's already now 2021. So we come up with a traditional way of doing things. For example, if let's say you would like to enter the competition at the internet, even at the international level, you have to do the preparation for booth setting and presentation. So this is actually the product in the hard form. So means that traditionally or previously we have to do this because this is not something new like now. So all things has to be very all product has to be very tangible in the sense of tangible. Yeah. So this is the thing we managed to come up with this product. Also won gold medal in 2012. Yeah, this is gold medal in the year 2012. So some people just asking me how you won this gold award. Of course, if you want to do something, I believe we have other keynote speaker also saying something on the innovation. So of course, you have to have a collaboration with the industry, with the company. Likewise, you can see from the Easy Fin for You video just now, we have our industry partner, and we are doing research and development for providing better services to the community, to the public outside that, to the small, medium enterprises. So this is the thing that I think how people have to change from the traditional one up to the new one. But all the elements such as collaboration, grant, copyright must be same as the traditional one. Yeah. So this is actually the copyright for our products. So if you want to invent, if you want to innovate, of course you have to make sure that your product has been patented or having its exclusive copyright. Yeah. So and another marks, yeah, to win this particular we call as gold awards. Your research should be backed up with a certain amount of grants. Either it could come from your university or from outside. But it is of course the judge will give extra mark if you have the research backed up by the external party grant. So or at the international level of grant, for example, like University Technology Mara received grant from Vietnam, University Technology Mara received grant from our keynote speaker or other co-host university from Indonesia. Then we collaborate on the product. So that particular product have a value added, yeah, value added to get something as a recognition by the people that would like to use our product. Okay, another thing is that of course when you have product, that particular product is come from your research, yeah, come from your research work. You have your prior reading on the previous research has been done by other people, and then come up with something new thing. What are the gap from the previous one, and then try to come up with something and you present it and publish it. So that is another extra mark whereby your product can have like we call it as a winning products. Yeah. Okay. This is the traditional way of entering the competition previously. We have to be there. We have to set our booth, and then we have to present to the judge. But now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we don't have to be there. We just have to provide video, just like now. You already see the video. Then make sure your video is really compressed with a very accurate criteria to represent your product. So the judge will assess based on the video and the website that you provide to offer. If let's say that is the online services to the public, so the judge will go to your online services website. So that's the way the new norms today. If let's say we like to compare with the previous one, you have to provide, like you can see from the picture, you have to provide the file, and then the judge will come to your booth asking about your product, and then you have to justify at that particular time. So it's like a viva process for the researcher, yeah, again and again and again. So I think pandemic COVID-19 is like a positive things in terms of that, but of course your product should have a higher value, yeah, to give confidence to the judge that your product can be marketable to the public or to the customer, to the potential customer. So this is actually what is actually my team and me myself practice. We are also transfer the attitude of passion for innovation to our student. For example, this student do some index on the corporate governance index, yeah, on the corporate governance disclosure by Islamic Bank. So we come up with the index, and then we take it the module as the training process or training session to the Islamic Bank practitioners. So they have the, like we call as a very good model. If let's say you would like to present the annual report, so what supposedly be in the annual report. So this student won again gold medal for this particular product, yeah, at the competition. Okay, so this is another student, yeah. So, oh, sorry, the name, previous one is index, but now this is name, the product name is Healthy Index Detection Route. It's actually reflecting the financial accounting ratio to measure how company perform well in certain performance. For example, we want to measure the profitability, liquidity, market value, and perhaps if let's say we like to check on the solvency of the company. So we train students to be innovative also in the research. Then Alhamdulillah, usually all the students grad on time, GOT, and they embed the character or the attitude of inventor in their studies and also in the working place, inshallah. All right, so this is just to share another sharing. Of course, you have to present your research to the outside there, yeah, at international level. For example, in my case, I go to the University of Glasgow and even went to New Zealand. This is prior to pandemic, but nowadays, even with the pandemic, we still present our paper, our research via online. So yeah, traditional one that you have to travel, yeah, but now you don't need to travel. Even today I'm at home, so we don't have problem in terms of commuting, yeah. So everything is just in front of your laptop, alhamdulillah. Okay, so just to share my I would say this is my hobby since 2009. You can see the name of my product, my text pocket financial analyst, my terminology pocket guide, M-score for Islamic bank, my text pocket, and then so-called as if in Malay and in Indonesia, we have a sayur kobis. So we have here computerized outcome-based education system, e-filing taxation assistant, EFTA, IAS, intelligent administration system, file manager for taxpayer, healthy administration ritual, investor relation guideline, independent director model, healthy index detection route, and we have corporate and Sharia governance disclosure just now. And even we have innovation in the education and supervisions. We have like convert thesis into journal articles, and then we have like proposal research assistant kit. And the last one in the progress is innovation and invention kit, inshallah 2021. This another invention that my team in the process of focusing. Just would like to invite if everyone would like to join me as a team to come up with this particular kit. All right, so just to share, all right, what is actually the new norms now at my university, Technology Mara. All right, of course, everything online. Yeah, even from this is our former VC. We still waiting for the new VC. Even we call it the Amanat Chancellor, which is the opening year for the speech done by online. And if let's say you have to discuss something on the research publication, it's also online. And this is actually data collection. Yeah, we have the focus group discussion or focus group interview. We also have to do this. Then if you can see from the slide, we have some sort of like grants given by the government to examine the impact of COVID-19 pandemic to the Malaysian. Yeah. Of course, we have collected data. It's just only 1 month. Yeah. At that particular time, we already missed with the total lockdown, and then we have like a break can go out. Then we go for the respondent, especially from different type of group. For example, let's say we have like business owner, and we have like government servant, and we have like all the peoples accordingly to the religion. So those can be done before the total lockdown. Yeah, but after that, in the middle of the process of completing the grant, we have to do all online. So we have to make sure that the respondent is really able and capable to use internet and laptop. Yeah, so that is actually the challenges that we face while collecting data. Okay, all right. Even signing. Okay, this is actually just to share. That's why I like to sing Indonesian song Indonesia Raya, because we have a very close friend with Indonesia University. So even of course, before pandemic we can go in Indonesia. So but now it is just online, but I keep enjoying to sing together with the all participants in the conference. So and even our online classes, research supervision. So either you like it or not, previously we always with the student in front of the computer showing them how to read the SPSS results, but now everything must be online. So sometimes it challenges us as a academic and researcher, and even as a supervisor, because some some area or some technical things, for example, like to show the correct info or data from the SPSS from the structural equation model, like social science, we always use SPSS, SEM, AMOS, PLS. So those things is very technical. So students also have to upgrade their skill from a very traditional one up to a very technological one. So our challenge as a supervisor, I would say, I do not know. I think this year and previous year is like a very tough year, but we try our best to adapt with the new norms and a new way of supervising. All right. So this is the thing. Sometimes the students like, oh my gosh, like that in the online or in the discussions. All right. This is actually our meeting, courses, training, conducted online. And okay, this is the final item. Way forward, what to predict. 2021, we have like only several months for 2021 and go up to 2030 onwards. So if we see, if we observe, of course, COVID-19 actually is something that required us to transform fast. We call it as a digital transformation. Everybody should be able to good at improving your knowledge, your skill, especially in the technology area. So again and again, learning institution like us, universitas, or in other country in the world, we now mapping into the hybrid one. If let's say total lockdown has been over, means that we are already get used with the system. So like in UiTM also, we already proposed that it could be like 70-30, 50-50. We will no longer go for 100% face-to-face, because I think it is a gifted something that students already good at using laptop, internet, and so on, presentation wise and everything. So way forward, we can foresee the learning process is like 70-30, 50-50. So I think that is great for us. And of course, digital work from home, and for the long-term impact, at the university level, we have like step by step, a very small, tiny efforts to improve our education system. But from the government side, like say from Malaysia, we already embedded in the curriculum. All the lesson has been changed gradually to match with the requirement of digital, in the sense of digital new norms. So that's it. Means that we can't foresee that campus will be full with the student, because the learning session will be like 70-30, and even for the data collection for research, and even for the I do not know, for engineering, perhaps you have to use lab. Perhaps later on we have lab at home, not work at home. It's also lab at home. That's it. That is actually the new setting of scenario for us as a researcher, academic, and also practitioners. That's it. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Mimi. I call you Mimi, right? Because Mr. Hendy call you Mimi.
Yeah. Because this is very simple name, Mimi. Otherwise, it's very difficult to call Memianti.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. It is I think it is one of the advantages of the COVID-19 situation, because we have to cope with the technology, and then it triggers us to build the innovations to adopt it in education system. Thank you for your insightful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to the next presenters. Ibu Dr. Retno P. Setyaningrum, SAMM. Ibu Retno from Pelita Bangsa University Indonesia, and she will present leadership in post-COVID-19, evidence from Indonesia. Please take your time, Ibu Retno. Ibu Retno masih di mute?
Oh, just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dila.
Okay, Bu.
Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Retno Purwani Stianingrum. I will lecture in Pelita Bangsa University, and we would like to present my article. I'm so delightful to be here, and thank you for giving me an opportunity, Mr. Henry Lopias and Miss Dr. Camila and Miss Dila. Thank you very much to discuss my paper before you. The title of my paper is Leadership in Post-COVID-19 Environment in Indonesia. Okay, thank you. I'm share screen.
Okay.
This is my curriculum vitae. I'm sorry. My name Retno Purwani Sianingrum, and place and date of birth in Solo, Japanese, and office address University Pelita Bangsa, Infeksi Kalimalang, Delta Mas. And then I'm graduate from Brawijaya University in Malang. Discipline Management Business. This is my thesis and dissertation title, Servant Leadership and its effect on employee performance mediated by organization commitment and trust. My work experience, I'm as corporate secretary in PT Pipa Mas Putih, and the last I work as Vice President General Affairs in PT Pipa Mas Putih. The last, I'm General Manager Human Resource Development and System Procedure in PT Broadband Network System. And then I'm a trainer and management consultant, and as lecturer at Pelita Bangsa University as Research and Social Work Project Director. And then international index article and journal ini Sigma International Conference and Journal International. And publication is a first and second rank of accreditation, organization commitment, and then the impact of CSR on employee performance, and then the impact of transformational leadership style, and then multiplying success, and then so on. Seminar and index international conference, yeah, 7, yeah. Okay, and seminar index national conference 1. And then my book and things, business and professional ethics, tax management, quality management, practicum for planning and development, human resource management, practicum for HRD advance, introduction management, and then human resource development management, and then leadership and personality development with Mr. Avinas and Mr. Henry Lopias. Intellectual property grant copyright certificate of dissertation model, 7 leadership and effect on employee performance, and then the best lecturer of the year in research and PT Pelita Bangsa University, and cum laude doctoral program of Brawijaya University. Social work, and then yeah, maybe you can read the slide. Okay, and okay, and then I presentation my paper. Yeah. Leadership in post-COVID-19 evidence in Indonesia. My name Associate Professor Dr. Retno Purwanisyaningrum, SAMM, Pelita Bangsa University. Are you ready? Why is this material important? The arrival of COVID-19 has created unprecedented challenge for the world. In Indonesia, the coronavirus has infected for more than 1.3 million people since the first confirmed case in March 2020. The coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 is expected to affect millions of people all over the world. The economic impact is expected to be large and can lead to a global recession. Millions of people will be passed into poverty. Then WHO declared COVID-19 to be a world pandemic outbreak, and many affected countries have begun to experience a leadership crisis in response to the attacks. Observing the trend of the spread of the pandemic that is so fast has made all the leaders of the country move so quickly with various ways of solving this problem. This project reviews the potential for leadership and human resource management in response to the emergency of the COVID-19 pandemic. And any emergency in a country, the role of a leader with the ability and seriousness of human resource management is believed to be very important. Yeah, the drawing when entering our store, please stay 6 feet apart. And then the main test of a country, nation, business world, government, public sector, organization or organization units, and even individual is to achieve better condition than before and so on. Better performance, better condition, and better life. And then this important of make change in making change, innovation, high performance organization, OBT or high performance organization. Managing change in this post-globalization and COVID-19 pandemic is a special leadership skill, namely adaptive leadership. And then not comfortable, changing is natural process, difficult to change, focusing on goal, assessing objective, and experience principle, identifying gap, assessing culture. Changing alone is not enough, but it's marching quickly so as not to lose momentum and not be preceded by other organizations in taking advantage of opportunities. Good leaders stay in tune with people emotion and continue to invest in their team. When you cut budgets and mix things, focus on followers and the effect their leadership style has on subordinates, which can be measured by indicator of trust, admiration, loyalty, and respect to the leaders. Do you indicators show that you are someone with good leadership? Number one, creative competence for leader. Encourage the preservation of new ideas, challenge others, encourage a broadening of knowledge and skill, and manage surrounding to stimulate creative. And then Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman World Economic Forum, and the new word it is not the big fish, which is the small fish, is the fast fish, which is the slow fish. Adaptive leader. Why adaptive leader? It is not the strongest that can last long, but the most adaptive, namely those who always adapt to various changes. What is adaptive organization? Number one, individual and work units within the organization can work together easily and effectively. Number two, individuals and work unit can work together easily with external parties of the organization, such as the community, others organization, expert, and others. Number three, the ability of each unit and individual to innovate without fear of being wrong. Individual and unit that innovate are rewards. The adaptive cooperation, Alvin and Heidi Toffler. Who is an adaptive leaders? Public leaders must identify accurately and competently about themselves, the condition and aspiration of the community or the people they lead, the development, complexity, and strategic environmental problem faced in various dimensions of life, as well as the paradigms and system of organization and management in which they play a role. In a very fast changing era where all aspects that affect the development of the organization have a very big influence. Adaptive leader model, stability. A leader who acts to anticipate change adaptively must be able to create a feeling of needs for change, nurturing awareness of change amongst members in an organization is absolutely the task of the leader. For this reason, leader must be able to identify what is needed to change. What needs to change? Why an organization the least must change? Why it must change? And what consequence will occur for the organization if the organization doesn't respond to this change as challenge the consequence for the organization. Leaders must get the attention of their members through giving people a reason to move out comfort and complexly. Stabilize and sustain change. Yeah. Contribution of ideas by leaders, both from with the organization and from outside the organization, at least revise and finalize to support the change process. Assist member of the organization in identifying hidden opportunities, defining the form of future change based on the requirement point of view of its members, and creating creative and innovative solutions are some of the things that adaptive leader must do. But stabilize and sustain the change. Stabilize and maintain the sustainability of the change in accordance with the times. Develop action step to bring about change. Develop performance measure to evaluate this change. Make adjustment to change in vision and strategy. Reflecting and or generating new thoughts and insights, and challenge of organization member to be open to new challenge will be faced. The same quality does not lead to success. Executive who members accidentally take advantage of an ambiguous and environment are in a prime position to launch new ideas and try new approach and behavior. Strategic leader who invest in forward-looking thinking enable executive to paint a picture of what is possible and kindly attracts people. Engage people heart and minds. Moving to a new level of leadership demands the ability to influence others to achieve what is needed. Executive leadership involves facilitating people through risk and change. Therefore, trust is very important to build vibes. No leader is an island, and growing the power of the network will identify the people who will lead and execute the vision. When executives do not invest in building and maintaining those relationships, there will be a lack of support and commitment to realizing the vision. Adaptive leader. In today's climate, executive must quickly adapt and make decisions when needed. The risk of change continues to increase. Executive must lead with transparency, consistency, take action to create stability in the environment, and continue to provide quality service despite disrupt change. Adaptive leader builds skill to unlock potential in people, mobiles collective wisdom, and lead innovative solution together to drive change. This new type of leader is the catalyst for the real transformation of the disease. How to apply adaptive leadership model? Basic competency of an adaptive leader: observe, interpret, or intervenes. Observe. Adaptive leader must be able to observe the condition that occur in the organization. Interpret. An adaptive leader must be able to translate or interpret the problems. Translating or interpreting is analyzing a problem. There are many methods to solve a problem. An easy and general way can be done with the question method: what, why, when, where, who, and how. Intervenes. The ability of leader to take an action for solving problems. That action consists of how to manage the resources you have, time sovereignty, policies, budget, and so on. Intervene. The ability of leader to take in an action for solving a problem. That action consists of how to manage the resource you have, time, subordinates, policies, budget, and so on. Confidence plays a role in a leadership. When executives understand their strengths and areas for development in a balanced way, they can break through barriers as a challenge, lead their inner critic, and create the right environment to solve problems. Calm in the storm. Executive presence is a vital leadership characteristic that costs nothing but everyone benefits. When an executive comes from a place of inner clarity and confidence, a development from what is most important to you. Dive deeper. Executives need to know who they are, their strengths, passion, and areas of the development which are the basic pillars. The I can do anything mantra doesn't work in the world of executive leadership. Buying the delusion that you can do anything is a false economic. In contrast, the 3090 feedbacks process open the door to exploring how others experience you can on your leadership ability. Before a behavior profiling tools such as extended this will also provide insight into how you naturally connect, creating opportunities to adapt your thinking and behavior to be more productive, rewarding your motivator, strength, and areas of development, and also enhance open conversation within the team in terms of how effectively communication flow ups and down the organization and create a platform for understanding and reshaping the organization culture. Invest in executive coaching. The first 90 days of executive transition are critical. Engaging an executive coach can unlock a leader's potential to maximize overall performance and key profitability. By investing in executive training, you can build your skill strategic plan to ensure growth and a bright future path. Successful leader continually improve, and develop their skill and are committed to having a safe place to grow, learn, and be challenged. Thank you. Hopefully, the participant of this international conference can become adaptive leaders who are able to survive and even increase the productivity of their teams, even the condition of the COVID-19 pandemic that is currently occurring in Indonesia. Thank you, Ms. Dila.
Thank you, Ibu Retno, for the insightful presentation. I think this is one of the new challenging for the leaders, for our leaders around the world to face this situation problem, because uncertainty situation can be held in any situation and in any sectors in this world. Okay, next we will go to the next presenters. Associate Professor Dr. Avinash Pawar from Pune University, India. Welcome back, my brother, Dr.
Hi, hello.
Afi. Okay. Dr. Afi will present about impact of COVID-19 on businesses, the implication for future of business in India. Okay, you can present till 11 because we also while waiting for Rudy from Netherlands. Okay, thank you. Take your time, Afi.
Yes, thanks a lot. And I thank all of you for inviting me for this conference. I feel honored to be a part of this wonderful conference. I would express my sincere thanks to Mr. Henry and Ms. Dila for inviting me as a part of this wonderful conference. I express my gratitude to all the keynote speakers, Professor Engon, Professor Teddy, Dr. Mimianti, Dr. Retno, and Dr. Rudy. I also congratulate all the participants of the conference, for taking initiative to be a part of this conference. So guys, thank you very much. I'll start my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Yeah,
This is
great, great.
clear.
So once again, I welcome all of you for this International Conference on Innovation in Social Sciences, Education and Engineering. I think Professor Henry and Dila has taken a lot of initiatives, and they have worked hard to make this conference very successful in today's time. So I appreciate the efforts of all of you. And to begin with, guys, today I'm going to talk on impact of COVID-19 on businesses. Basically, I'll be explaining how COVID-19 has affected the business. And I'll be sharing some of the insights from India, what happened, especially in terms of economy, growth, impact on small businesses, impact on revenues of different businesses. So I'll be discussing on all those aspects. As guys, the theme of the conference is role of multidisciplinary studies and innovations in facing the complexity of globalization and impact of the post-COVID-19 pandemic. So I think this is the most relevant theme in the today's time, and we all are facing these challenges, every day. So I feel, as a management teacher or as a professor, I think we all should work upon how to make this transformation successful. We have faced COVID-19, but today we want to come out of it. We want to emerge as a better leader, better country, better as a business in the future. So I would like to start my session with the introduction to what has happened during the times of COVID. There were many challenges which were faced by a lot of countries. And apart from the health challenges, I think every country faced a lot of health issues, and there were a lot of strains on healthcare systems. But majorly, there was a shock for the economies and businesses, all across the globe. And it has majorly affected, to the developing countries like India, Indonesia, who have upgrowing businesses over the period of time. So I think that was the, I would say, a shock to the economy and business. It has also triggered a deeper recession than any global financial crisis. Our world has seen a lot of financial crisis and a lot of recessions. But I think the COVID-19 has created a bigger impact than all those financial crises. And the world is now amid the greatest economic disruption since the Second World War. So this has also been, one of the, I would say, biggest impact of COVID-19 on the entire world. Trade impact of COVID-19 for India estimated about $348 million. This was according to the UN report. So not just in terms of economy, but India has also been affected due to the loss of lives of many people, loss of jobs of many people. And it has also impacted a lot of people regarding their social security. The coronavirus pandemic is a serious global concern and impacted on the world economy and business. There is no doubt that this crisis caused many problems, but it also creates many opportunities for innovation and development, I think, which accelerate efforts to raise our country. So guys, yes, we all have the challenges of COVID-19, but still I feel that there are many ways to overcome those challenges. There are a lot of new innovations which are coming up. There are a lot of new opportunities for development. Like, for example, we used to have physical conferences, or we used to have, classes, but today we have online classes, e-conferences, so a lot of, I would say, models are changing and a lot of new innovations are coming up. So I think this was the basic foundation for, the COVID-19 and its impact. So now coming back to what has affected in the Indian context. In India, up to 53% of businesses have specified certain amount of impact of shutdown caused due to COVID-19. This was as per the survey of FICCI. So around 53% businesses have, impacted in terms of their operation. I think this is a very big number for a country like India. the unemployment rate had increased nearly 19% within a month. Then it has reached around 26%, which is again a huge, I would say, unemployment in India. It has never crossed more than 7%, and today it's around 26%, which comes around 140 million job lost during the pandemic. More than 45% of households across the nation, they have reported income drop. So I think around 50% of the families have lesser income than what they were doing earlier. Various businesses such as hotels and airlines cut salaries and laid off the employees. So not just, I think, the hospitality industry, but the impact has been observed in many industries like retail, manufacturing, telecom. Every sector in India has got the impact in terms of revenue, and that has led to reduction of salaries of the employee. Moreover, friends, the only sector which has grown even during the COVID pandemic was IT industry in India, because they were dealing with lot of projects from a lot of offshore companies. So that sector was has done good during the pandemic, but other sectors were affected due to COVID situation. Revenue of transport companies such as Ola cabs went down around 95%, which has also resulted around 1,400 layoffs. Then some of the organizations like CII, ASSOHAM, and FAITH, they have estimated that huge chunk of workforce involved with tourism in country faces unemployment. So majority of the service industry has been affected, and one of the prime, I would say, target of the impact was tourism industry, which were involved in operating hotels, taxi services, all restaurants and food services. So all those services were majorly affected due to COVID situation. According to the report of KPMG, Indian startup has fallen over 50% in quartile 1 of 2020. So I think all those new businesses which were started in 2019 and 2020, all of them were majority of them were affected due to COVID-19 situation. And I think most of them were asked for help to the government for sustaining their business activities. India's export in April 2020 fell by minus 36.65% year on year, while imports in April 2020 fell by minus 47%, which was, I think, a bigger difference for a country like India, because India is exporting a lot of goods to other countries. Starting from agricultural products, even some of the FMCG products. It also includes a lot of grains and vegetables to country like Pakistan, Bangladesh, United Arab Emirates. So all those exports were fallen down due to the COVID-19 situation. So this has been, I would say, impact of COVID-19 on business related activities. Now moving to the economic side, there was an economic hit in 2020. And out of all the G20 countries, India's economy was the worst hit in quartile 2, followed by UK, Spain, and Mexico. So in the graph, you can see the impact on the GDP of the economy. And you will find India has been minus 25.6, which is the largest impact on the Indian economy. I think that has led, many other aspects like the national lockdown has impacted the business, which has also affected the working schedules and the industrial operating structures that reduced the production and supply of the products. Demands from the market were reduced, disruption in supply chains and all other activities, health and safety fears in the minds of the employee. That created that has led to reduce the production and output, and trade wars and barriers. I think these are the few reasons which has also contributed for the decline of the GDP. But apart from this, I think in spite of having such a big impact on the economy, India still has survived to excel in some sectors of the economy. I think in the future, it will get a lot of benefits for even for other sectors of the Indian economy. And now let us look at how the business fallout happened, over the past 2 years. What was the impact on the business related activities? So worldwide disruption across every aspects of life. I think we have seen, I think all of us have witnessed all those disruptions in every aspect of our life. Worldwide disruption in manufacturing, services and logistics. I think manufacturing sector was the most heated sector in India, because majority of the small businesses were manufacturing, and they have been impacted due to COVID-19 situation. A worldwide recession in the economy. Countries are increasingly likely to adopt more and more protectionist measures. Now many countries have, many companies have started working from home practices. They have initiated some form of working mechanism, maybe half day working, or probably 3 hours working. But that is again as an approach of protection. And if it continues for a longer period of time, I think the productivity will get hampered in the future. So this has to be covered to be as early as possible. I think to deal with that, the government of India has started the COVID vaccination at a very fast pace. I think in the last couple of months, India was the first country to vaccinate largest number of people. So such initiatives are also taken from the government side to reduce the impact on the manufacturing sector. It has also led it to some of the unprecedented order cancellations, around 25%. So many businesses have stopped order due to the COVID-19 situation. That has also piled up a lot of inventory in the firms, and lot of investments were made into manufacturing those products. So I think that was also a gray area in the business activities. Cancellation around 50% in certain sectors, for example, automobile sector, where majority of the people who have booked the car before the pandemic, they have cancelled their orders. So that was around 50% in a sector like automobile. So which has also affected the business cycle of the manufacturers. And funds being locked up owing to non-payment of dues by large buyers in US, Europe, and West Asia, because many outsourcing business comes to India from United States and Europe, and some of the Asian countries. So due to the non-payment of the outsourcing work, I think the companies were impacted, and they were unable to perform their business operations. So let's look at the sectoral impact. How was the impact on different sectors, and how it has been postponed in different forms. So if you look at mining and mining sector, we could see in 3 quarters we could see a negative impact. Similarly, in electricity, gas supply, and other sectors, there has been the negative impact in the first quarter, but in second and third quarter it has increased. So there has been some growth in electricity and gas supply services. Similarly, construction sector was also showing the negative impact in first 2 quarters, but in October to December, I think it has grown up to some extent. And coming back to manufacturing sector, which was biggest hit in the first and second sector, and I'm sure it will take some time to take this sector to a particular level. Now coming back to the service sector of Indian economy, there has been biggest hit to the trade, hotel, transport, and storage communication services, so which was around minus 47%. Then community, social, and personal services had around minus 10% of the impact, and financial services around minus 5% of the impact. So if you look at all those service related sectors, you will find negative impact. And now recently in the quartile 4, I think the financial services sector has picking up. a lot of banking and real estate activities are picking up. So it shows that in future these industries will flourish in future, like banking industry, insurance industry, financial services, and even information technology industry. So this sectoral impact shows us how the sectors are going to be developed in the future. And I think that will give a great insights for Indian businesses to take some of the policy initiatives and to take care of to design right strategies for the future. Now let us move to the industrial effect. How after sectors, how the industry has impacted. What was the initial I would say effects on the industries and different operating and depending sectors. The most affected sector includes instruments, machineries, automotive, and communication equipments, because majority of the bigger manufacturers, they are dependent on small and medium businesses, who are supplying some form of material to the bigger manufacturers. So if the industry itself or a bigger organization is impacted, it has also impacted the smaller businesses, who are supplying different equipments or machineries to bigger businesses. Among the most affected economies are the European Union. They had an impact around 15.6 billion. United States, they had an impact of around 5.8 billion. Japan around 5.2 billion, South Korea around 3.8 billion, Taiwan and China around 2.6 billion, Vietnam around 2.3 billion. So these are the some statistics which shows us the economical impact on different economies around the world. Coming back to India, India is among the 15 most affected economies due to COVID epidemic and slowdown in production in China. So because a lot of Indian businesses were also importing some of the components from China. And many of the electronic and home appliances industry were dependent on the Chinese supply chain, and the components, which has drastically affected all the businesses in that sector in India. The trade impact for India is less as compared to other economies such as European Union, US, Japan, and South Korea. So the major difference, if you could see, that India has a very, I would say, largest economic downturn, but still the trade impact was lesser than other countries. It is because of the skill sets which were developed by the industries in India. So in spite of having larger economic impact, all the trades were fairly operating their businesses. Now coming back to other firm which has developed during COVID-19. I think all of us know about e-business or electronic business. But due to the COVID-19 situation, I think many people have adopted e-business as a mode of doing business. A lot of brick and mortar stores have started doing businesses in an online form. And in India, I think many businesses have initiated on a digital mode in the COVID-19 situation. Furthermore, the pandemic has accentuated the trends towards adoption of social media and increasing the sale through e-commerce website. So this has led to the shift in consumption habits that have been observed, driven by the need for essential items. So even for buying groceries, now people go for online buying or ordering from a website. That is more convenient for the customer today. On the other side, e-payments, or I would say e-wallets, have experienced fast growth, but cash on delivery remains prominent. So the mode of payments have also been upgrading in the last 1 year. Pandemic has been an opportunity for many digital driven business models. So nowadays, in the today's time, I think every Indian business is looking for going online. Every business has started building their websites and approaching the customer through online mode. So this has been one of the prominent change in the business model in India. The pandemic has reinforced pre-existing bottlenecks in electronic commerce ecosystem. that countries need to address to benefit the e-commerce development by enriching their e-trade readiness. The COVID-19 served as an accelerator for greater public-private cooperation. So guys, COVID-19 has forced the industries in India to merge together, to come together. So a lot of public-private partnership has been observed in many sectors, starting from telecom and retail, which were majorly have seen lot of mergers and acquisitions. So moving on to the next aspect, which is the business measures which were adopted by businesses in India. So I have just noted some of the measures and their frequencies with respect to the businesses. So development of national e-commerce strategy, which has been, the major, I would say, prominent measure taken by businesses. More advertisement available for e-commerce. So as I said, a lot of businesses have started going online for doing their business activities. A lot of businesses have also taken measures for skill development of the employees, because in an earlier time, people were not much trained for the internet businesses, or I would say the information technology awareness was lower. But to increase that, a lot of companies have started skill training programs. Then reduced e-payment cost. A lot of e-wallets were available and the e-payment cost were reduced. Financial incentives and liquidity support was been one of the major, I would say, taken by the businesses. Cheaper internet access, maintenance of logistics operation, a new e-commerce marketplace for essential items, new digital health and education solution, new logistics services by private operators. So these are the measures which were taken by Indian businesses. But the major two, I think the first two are e-commerce strategy and advertisement through e-commerce. I think these two steps were prominently taken by around 70 to 80% of the businesses in India. And I think it will see further in the future as well. Some of the insights for businesses, like world trade would take a massive beating, especially in non-essential goods and services. Unemployment is at peak and future is uncertain, forcing people to cut short their spending and changing their consumption pattern. Fear of uncertainty, again, people are not comfortable enough, for dealing with such situations, and they are not much aware about the future. Large scale shutdown and bankruptcies has witnessed, a lot of changes in the business world. And on the other side, even the stock market have seen a lot of changes in terms of share values, currency value, and oil prices for the economy. So these are a few insights, I think. But in spite of this, I think over the period of time, all these, I would say, negative impacts will be improving after certain period of time. Moreover, taking the right steps by the government will help all these businesses to overcome all these challenges. I think the travel, entertainment, sport event, and hospitality was the sector who have affected around 90% of their original value. All the hotels were closed, all the entertainment avenues were closed, all the outdoor events were closed. So I think this sector has got the biggest hit. And to deal with that, the government of India have taken initiative to support these sectors with the funding, and then to make sure that these businesses will sustain in the future. Countries exporting finished manufacturing goods with established export markets are likely to wade through current environment. Those like India that are dependent on intermediate and agricultural export and are on lookout to tap new markets are likely to find the going tougher. So doing export has been challenging during the time of COVID, but now India has adopted some of their business models, and they have reassigned their priorities of export. I think in the future, again, the business will be on the front line for exporting. Now, what are the future opportunities for Indian businesses as an outcome of my study for COVID-19 and businesses? India can benefit from the current crisis through strategic planning and response. It already has a large domestic market, favorable demography, huge population, and availability of labor. I think India is the country who is mostly qualified in English language, so we have all the resources and a good domestic market. So I think that will be a good future for the businesses. India would need to be very fast in creating conducive environment for the multinationals. Some of the special economic zones have been available for new investors. So India would like to attract more investors from other countries, because a lot of companies are looking for investment opportunities other than China. So recently, many of the companies who were doing businesses from China, they have shifted to India, and they have started their business operations in India. A lot of manufacturing companies have also shifted from China to India. So this, I think this needs more encouragement from the government, to allocate special economic zones for such companies, so that, we could attract more investment businesses which can generate more employment in the future. So some of the key challenges which are faced by different industries in India, like lack of raw material, productivity, insufficient staffing, limited orders, and then limited operations due to transport restriction. These are the few challenges which are faced by various industries. And financial actions being planned by businesses in India, like implementation cost containment activities were around 37.6%, differing or cancelling planned investments were around 28%, modifying financial plans around 25%, and changing merger and acquisition strategy was around 3.4%. So this has been a financial, I would say, changes which have happened due to the COVID-19 situation. So what are the lessons for businesses? I think after going through the entire presentation, I think the global pandemic is common, but have varying responses for different sectors. So I think every sector needs appropriate strategy for a strategy and model for doing the business. Business integration along with the coordinated response, because business doesn't work only by one intermediary. It might need support from other intermediaries. So business integration with other intermediaries is very essential for running the business in the future. New opportunities in trade and planning required. Regional synchronization is highly required after COVID-19 to make business more sustainable in the today's economy. Need for quick and strict response to businesses, social distancing, hygiene, mask, temperature testing, quarantine, all these seems to work. And I think that will continue for the next 1 or 2 years. Technology, digitalization has immensely important in new normal. So today, every business have started adopting new technologies for their business operations. And then sooner or later we will see relaxation in lockdowns, and then reciprocal measures were taken to boost the business operations. So coming back to the outcome of my study, I think the 5 key nations in Southeast Asia, which can come together and form a larger regional trade alliance, to encounter the current COVID-19 situation, to move towards regional self-sufficiency. I think India, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand, on principles of mutual respect, sensitivity, equality, and brotherhood, can create a transparent, fabulous network supporting all the regional requirements among them, from the production to services sector. And they can collectively, take on the might of China, be it trade, manufacturing, R&D, or any other service. So I think if we all can come together, we can become a better economy. We could help each other's business. We could, grow our economies together. So need of bold reforms across the all value chains, starting with approval, clearances, labor reforms to attract investment, and emerging India as an alternative manufacturing base is needed for the today's economy. So I think, guys, thank you very much. Terima kasih for listening my session. If you have any questions, you can note down my WhatsApp number and email ID. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you for your listening. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Arvinas Power, for your very valuable presentation. And it is so interesting that one of the biggest sector that getting impact of the COVID-19 is business or economics. I think it is also happen not just in India, but in Indonesia and around the world.
Sure,
and this is our homework to, I think, like give recommendation to the government from our research or perspective to try to tackle this situation. Thank you, Mr. Afi. And now we are going to the last keynote speakers. Dr. Rudy Trines from Radboud University Nijmegen, the Netherlands. Welcome back, Rudy. How are you? What time is it there in Netherlands?
For me, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's all right.
I'm sorry. I have to ask you to wake up earlier than before. Okay, Rudy will present the role of universities and importance of social sciences, arts, and humanities in the post-COVID era. I think we will develop this topic deeply. And Mr. Henry, you want to say to Rudy?
Okay. Goedemorgen, brother. Ja, goedemorgen.
Goedemorgen.
Ja, ik ben Henry. Mijn Oost-Centraal.
Ik zie het. En bedankt voor de uitnodiging. Ja.
Hij is grafische ontwerper van deze conferentie.
Ik heb het gezien. Ja, heel mooi. Het zag er mooi uit.
Oké. Dankjewel. Tot ziens.
Oh, tot ziens.
Tot ziens. You can speak in Bahasa. Some of them.
No, I will do it in English.
Yeah.
I think you have to translate what were you talking about, Mr. Rudy, right? Because we couldn't understand this language. Okay, Rudy, now your turn, and please take your time.
Can I share my screen for a presentation?
Sure.
Here we are. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to talk about the importance of social sciences, arts and humanities research at universities and elsewhere in the post-COVID area. Now, of course, we are still not there in the post-COVID area. I'm aware that there are over 10,000 casualties in Indonesia, 2.3 million cases at the moment, despite the lockdown starting from the 1st of July. And also in Europe, it's still very, very bad. And cases are rising even in the United States, but also in the Netherlands. So we're still not in the post-COVID area. So I feel a bit awkward to talk about this. But I hope soon most of us will be fully vaccinated and the crisis will more or less be over, or we learn to live with the virus. Nevertheless, I'm going to talk about the social science and humanities research in the post-COVID area. Now, this is a quote from Picker, Jill and Smith of the Journal of Global Health. And as you can see, she talks about that the COVID-19 has devastated communities around the world and profoundly changed the ways in which we live and work. The pandemic has also created opportunities for us to build back better once the immediate threats recede. So whilst medical science, of course, has been at the center of the response to the virus itself, the social sciences, arts and humanities have a powerful role to play in our recovery from it. In this slide, there's a quote from a researcher from the London School of Economics last year, where she says that there's no point devising lockdowns, for instance, if nobody follows that, or there's little value in developing a vaccine if nobody will take it. So expert advice and insight from social sciences, precisely concerned with the nature of societies and the workings of social, cultural, and economic processes, have too often been underutilized by policymakers tackling the pandemic. And the analysis and insights of SSH generates can and do underpin better evidence decisions and help guide and target insights from the natural sciences. To give these two examples, there's no point devising lockdowns that nobody will follow, and work by social scientists on the effective, acceptable delivery of mass vaccination program is highly relevant. These are the contents of my presentation. I will provide some insights from past work on related issues in the social and behavioral sciences that may help public health officials mitigate the impact of the current pandemic. Specifically, I will discuss research on threat perception, social context, science communication, aligning individual and collective interest, leadership, and stress and coping in the pandemic. The COVID-19 is a serious disease, as we all know, and leaves few people untouched around the world. So, of course, expertise from biomedicine and public health is needed. However, the broader effects of COVID-19 also needs more sustained attention. The virus permeates society and culture, undermining diverse aspects of well-being beyond a purely biomedical understanding of health, such as educational, religious, and cultural activities, and it has many personal and political ramifications. The importance of SSH or SSH and inter and transdisciplinarity. Now, we all know that societies are formed through the interactions between histories, laws, traditions, and social relationships at different levels. And deep understandings of these and the complexity of their effects on economics, communities, and individuals are absolutely vital to informing the design, development, and rollout of policy, regulatory and technical interventions into societies afflicted by and eventually recovering from the coronavirus. It is these understandings that must be brought to bear on the current crisis through an enhanced role for the humanities and social sciences as societies around the world seek to mitigate the worst aspects of COVID-19 and move towards recovery. The core principles of SSH research would be that humanities matter. Humanities research plays an indispensable role in society's development and well-being by promoting the values of intellectual curiosity, innovation, critical thinking, and tolerance. And interdisciplinarity works. Collaboration across academic disciplines creates new, valuable knowledge that extends the insights of individual disciplines. And third bullet,
Sorry. Would you want to share your PowerPoint because it hasn't up yet?
You can't see it?
Yeah, I'm sorry to disturb you.
It doesn't move. Ah, I see. I'm
sorry to disturbing.
Can you see the? Is there another sheet now?
No, not. Not yet.
With me, it moves. So I will. So I will try to unshare my screen and then perhaps like this. Share. Can you see a different sheet now?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Okay.
Yes. At least I'm sorry to disturb your.
No. That's all right. It's fine. Can you see the next sheet now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So now it's all right. Oh, it's good that you pointed this out. Thank you, Bu Novita. So the third bullet is about transdisciplinarity, building relationships among a wide range of societal stakeholders, and it builds bridges. So humanities research plays a vital role in building relationships among a wide range of societal stakeholders, including academics, communities, civic organizations, industries, museums, memory sites, and creative practitioners and policymakers. In the next slide, that's taken from Van Havel in Nature and Human Behavior in 2020, you can see that the social and behavioral sciences can provide valuable insights for managing the pandemic and its impacts. And this figure indicates the topics that are broadly relevant to numerous stages of the current pandemic to help policymakers, leaders, and the public better understand how to manage threats. I will discuss the areas mentioned in this figure. So it's about effective leadership, and for each area, I will highlight some relevant insights and discuss implications for policymakers, leaders and the public, and note areas for future SSH research. So I will start with the threat perception as one of the topics for SSH research in the post-COVID area. Now, threat is the first thing. One of the central emotional responses during a pandemic is fear. Appealing to fear leads people to change their behavior if they feel capable of dealing with a threat, but it leads to defensive reactions when they feel helpless to act. Another challenge is that people often exhibit an optimism bias, to believe that bad things are less likely to befall oneself than others. And this can also lead people to underestimate their likelihood of contracting a disease and to therefore ignore public health warnings. The second thing is emotion and risk perception. Sound health decisions depend on accurate perceptions of the costs and benefits of certain choices for oneself and for society. As negative emotions increase, people may rely on negative information about COVID-19 more than on other information to make decisions. And research is needed to determine whether a more positive frame of mind could educate the public and relieve negative emotions whilst increasing public health behaviors. And the third bullet is prejudice and discrimination. The experience of fear and threat has ramifications for how they feel about and react to others, in particular outgroups. Greater fear and perceived threat are associated with greater intolerance and punitive attitudes towards outgroups. And disease threat can give rise to discrimination and violence against stigmatized or scapegoated groups. Conversely, a global pandemic may also create opportunities to reduce religious and ethnic prejudice. And this could facilitate reorganization of previously considered outgroups and in-groups into a single community with a common destiny. And this, of course, can foster further international cooperation. The last bullet on this slide is about disaster and panic. People panic, especially when in crowds. And this idea has been used to explain responses to the current COVID-19 outbreak, most commonly in relation to the notion of panic buying. However, cooperation and orderly norm-governed behavior are common across a range of emergencies and disasters. And there are many instances where people display remarkable altruism. There is already evidence that mutual aid groups among the public have become widespread in response to COVID-19. However, the use of the notion of panic can be actively harmful. News stories that employ the language of panic often create the very phenomenon that they purport to condemn. And they can foster the very individualism and competitiveness that turn sensible preparations into dysfunctional stockpiling and undermine the sense of collective purpose which facilitates people supporting one another during an emergency. The next topic possible for SSH research is the social context. Slowing viral transmission during pandemics requires significant shifts in behavior, and aspects of the social context, such as social norms, social inequality, culture, and polarization, may help decision makers identify risk factors and effectively intervene. As social norms, the first bullet on this slide, people behavior is influenced by social norms, and changing behaviors by correcting misperceptions can be achieved by public messages reinforcing positive norms. And social networks can amplify the spread of behaviors that are both harmful and beneficial during the pandemic. We may leverage the impact of any behavior change effort by targeting well-connected individuals and making their behavior change visible and salient to others. Social inequality, second bullet on this slide. Inequalities in access to resources affect not only who is at greatest risk of infection, but also who is able to adopt recommendations to slow the spread of the disease. So the economically disadvantaged will be most likely to be exposed to the hazard and most susceptible to harm from it, and most likely to experience negative outcomes from it. So issues of economic disadvantage intersect with issues of race and ethnicity. And economic position and racial inequality are also associated with levels of trust in social institutions, including the healthcare system itself. Members of these communities may be more likely to be wary about the public health information they receive and less willing to adopt recommended safety measures, and potentially more susceptible to fake news. And this suggests the need for more targeted public health information and research on that. The third bullet on this slide is about culture. A sense of the self as independent versus interdependent with others is a dimension of cultural variation. And the priority given to obligations and duties in Asian societies may motivate individuals to remain committed to social norms while suppressing personal desires. And this is a reason why interpersonal transmission of the virus could be more likely in independent cultures than in interdependent cultures. And independent cultures, of course, occur more often in Western Europe, where I live. Another related dimension of cultural variance is the society's tightness or looseness. And cultures accustomed to prioritizing freedom over security may also have more difficulties coordinating in the face of a pandemic, as we do in Western Europe. The cumulative evidence here suggests that very different strategies might be called for in varying cultural contexts in the fight against COVID-19. The last bullet on this slide is on political polarization. One cultural barrier for coordinated action within countries is political polarization. And the decrease in in-person contact due to COVID-19 may reduce cross-partisan interactions and information sharing. However, there are steps that could reduce polarization. First, the pandemic fosters a sense of shared fate. And secondly, a growing body of research work shows that misperceptions underlie polarization. Therefore, it is likely important to combat misinformation that could generate partisan motivated reasoning and inaccurate beliefs. And finally, leaders can highlight bipartisan support for COVID-19 related measures. Now, science communication is, of course, also very important in post-COVID research. The information environment around the pandemic underscores the importance of effective science communication. The COVID-19 pandemic has seen a rise in conspiracy theories, fake news, and misinformation. In this context, it is hard for the public to distinguish scientific evidence and facts from less reliable resources of information. On conspiracy theories, they emerged shortly after the first news of COVID-19 and have continued to persist. People are more drawn to conspiracy theories when important psychological needs are frustrated. Thus, conspiracy theories may gain more traction as COVID-19 spreads and more people isolate themselves. And these conspiracy theories, of course, can have harmful consequences. Believing conspiracy theories has been linked to vaccine hesitancy, and conspiracy beliefs may also fuel hostility towards groups seen as responsible for the virus. Fake news and misinformation. Fake news about COVID-19 has proliferated widely on social media with potentially dangerous consequences. Emerging research is using social science to understand and counter the spread of fake news. And to effectively counter fake news about COVID-19 around the world, governments and social media companies must rigorously develop and test their interventions. Persuasion, the third bullet on this slide. Decades of research has found that sources perceived as credible are more persuasive. The credibility of sources stems from how trustworthy and expert they are perceived to be. Therefore, finding credible sources for different audiences who are able to share public health messages might prove effective. This slide is about individual and collective interest. The behavior of individuals living in communities is regulated by moral norms and values, and research on morality and cooperation can encourage pro-social behaviors by individuals and groups. Now, the first bullet is about zero-sum thinking. People often default to thinking that someone else's gain, especially someone from a competing group, necessitates a loss to themselves, and vice versa. So zero-sum thinking fits uneasily with this non-zero-sum nature of pandemic infection, where someone else's infection is a threat to oneself and to everyone else. Zero-sum thinking means that while it might be psychologically compelling to hoard protective materials, for instance, sanitizers, masks, and even vaccines, beyond what is necessary, doing so could be self-defeating, as we see now with the Delta variant. Moral decision-making, second bullet. Moral decision-making during a pandemic involves uncertainty. It's not certain whether social interactions will infect others. People may be less willing to make sacrifices for others when the benefits are uncertain. Cooperation within groups, last bullet on this slide. Fighting a global pandemic requires large-scale cooperation. The problem is that, by definition, cooperation requires people to bear an individual cost to benefit other people. And one major question then is how to promote cooperation. And this suggests that leaders and the media can promote cooperation by making these behaviors more observable. And that brings me to leadership. Crisis like the current pandemic creates an opportunity for leadership across groups of varying levels. families, workplaces, local communities, and nations. A leadership can coordinate individuals and help them avoid the behaviors that are no longer considered socially responsible. Elements in leadership are trust and compliance, first bullet. And during a pandemic, health officials often need to persuade the population to make a number of behavior changes and follow health policies aimed at containment. And trust in institutions and government also plays an important role. So reliable information and public health messages are needed from national leaders and central health officials. Identity leadership, second bullet. Experimental SSH studies clarify what leaders can do to promote trust, leading to cooperation. A priority for leaders is to create a sense of shared social identity among their followers. A large body of research suggests that people tend to prefer leaders who cultivate a sense of we're all in this together. Leaders who are seen as prototypical of the group, one of us, tend to gain greater influence. And the last bullet on this slide is in-group elevation. Elevating the in-group without demeaning the others. Building a strong sense of shared social identity can help coordinate efforts to manage threats and foster in-group commitment and adherence to norms. Leaders can do this, for instance, by being a source of moral elevation. In this way, leaders can function as role models and motivate people to put their own values into action. My last slide is on stress and coping. The pandemic is likely to function as a major stressor, and it is doing that at the very moment, especially in terms of chronic anxiety and economic difficulties. And such effects may be exacerbated by self-isolation policies that can increase social isolation and relationship difficulties. I will consider some strategies to mitigate the virus-linked threats to social connection, intimate relationships, and stresses. Social isolation and connection. Loneliness and social isolation or social distancing worsens the burden of stress and often produce deleterious effects on health. Scholars have identified strategies that could mitigate these outcomes. Thus, for instance, the term social distancing might imply that one needs to cut off meaningful interactions. A useful alternative term might be physical distancing to help highlight the fact that social connection is possible even when people are physically disconnected and separated. That brings me to intimate relations, second bullet. The social effects of the pandemic also extend to the inside of our homes, where many people find themselves in sudden forced proximity and with their immediate family. Indeed, some studies suggest that forced proximity is a risk factor for aggression and domestic violence. One factor underlying success is for individuals to calibrate their expectations to the circumstances. And that brings me to the last bullet, healthy mindsets. In the face of a global pandemic, avoiding stress altogether is simply not an option. And preliminary research suggests that mindsets about stress can be changed with short and targeted interventions. And research is needed to see if adopting these mindsets can help some people harness the stress during a pandemic for positive growth. Let me wrap up with some conclusions. Many of the questions that policymakers at local, national, and global levels are dealing with in relation to COVID-19 have significant social, economic, and ethical dimensions. What, for instance, are both the immediate and longer-lasting implications of different exit strategies to stay-at-home mandates? How can individuals, communities, and infrastructures best recover from the pandemic and understand, anticipate, and adapt to the widespread changes to personal and professional lives that will result? And how can societies learn the lessons that will help us mitigate the effect of future pandemics and become fairer, more progressive, more equitable, and more sustainable? So these questions demand close governmental collaboration and consultation with humanities and social scientific experts who have much to say and more to offer. At an international level, organizations like the World Health Organization engages already closely with such experts. Ethics scholars especially have informed various reports and briefings with the World Health Organization Working Group on Ethics and COVID-19, representing one key source of advice and expertise. And at an early point in the pandemic, the World Health Organization has convened an international COVID-19 social science working group. And similarly, a range of national governments, like in the Netherlands, have incorporated to a greater or lesser degree humanities and social science expertise within broader pandemic advisory committees. And with this, I will end my brief talk, and I thank you all for listening to my presentation. And if you have questions, of course, I'm perfectly willing to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rudy, for your presentation. I think there are so numerous research that conduct according to the COVID-19 situation these days, and it can be contribute to hopefully to cope with this situation for the next after COVID or post-COVID era. Ladies and gentlemen, now I will open for the question and answer session. There are several questions in the chat Zoom actually, but I will open for anyone who want to ask directly to the keynote speaker. Please mention your name and your affiliation or university, and then address the question to the certain speaker. Silakan Bapak Ibu yang ingin bertanya langsung kepada para narasumber, silakan disebutkan nama lengkap, kemudian universitas, dan pertanyaannya langsung ditujukan kepada keynote speaker yang mana. Silakan.
Selamat siang, selamat pagi Bu Dila, boleh tanya?
Ya, Pak Iwan. Pak Eko, maaf.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Eko Riwayadi from Pelita Bangsa University. I just would like to ask a little bit from Dr. Rudy for the last presentation. It was very good. Dr. Rudy, can you just let's say give sort of a strategy because of this COVID-19 is really making people very stressful and under pressure, you see, a lot of lockdown in every country, and then how to manage this situation and when all this will be end. So maybe if you have any some short of tips, you know, especially for the doing the business. So I just really want to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pak Ribayadi, for your question. Yes, this is, of course, a very important question because, you know, anxiety and unhealthy mindsets are now rampant because of the health situation. And one of the things that social sciences research has discovered or has pointed out is that despite the threats to our health, keeping a healthy mindset, you know, trying to bear up and keep up good hopes and looking at the future and not being bogged down by the current, you know, dire situation is very helpful also to business relations. If I look at the situation in Western Europe, which is of course very much better, I readily admit that, than in Southeast Asia or in Indonesia, it is that, you know, we have had a couple of, you know, really tough lockdowns where business could not operate at all. Of course, they were supported by the general government, very much more so than in Southeast Asia. So there was a bit of money to pay salaries, so as to be able to keep your personnel. But there were also a lot of companies and businesses who just had to shut down and who went broke because of that. And you can now see that they, you know, they're also fighting against the lockdown measures, just like all over the world. But I admire the, you know, the stamina that they have in keeping up, keeping going their business, however on the reduced level that is. They are doing that, and they are looking forward to when they can restart, and they are just, you know, being very flexible what they can do during the pandemic, rather than not do anything at all. And I think that varies from business to business. It's a case-by-case study. But I think, you know, keeping a positive mindset can really help some people harness the stress during a pandemic for positive growth. And we must look at a way to come out of this crisis better. Build back better is what they say in the UK. We can come back and we can do this better. That would be my answer.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rudy. Agree with you that to keep our mind in positive way and looking forward. Really, only we can hope because you know what I understand from across the globe for the news that don't know when also this pandemic will be end. But you know, as a human being, wherever we are in the West and in the East, that we have, you know, have to connect one of and another people, have to be social. It cannot be like this all the time. Thank you so much, and really hope that all this will be end and will be back to the normal. Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Eko.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Bu Dila.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Pak Eko. For the next question, please. You can address.
Second question for.
Okay. Henry, you want to address the question to whom?
Mr. Henry. I want to ask a question for Mr. Rudy.
Okay, Pak Zainuddin. Maybe Pak Zainuddin first, Mr. Henry.
Okay, thank you very much for opportunity.
Yeah.
I want to ask about that this explanation.
Please mention your affiliation.
Zainuddin Tahyan from University Mandiri Bandung.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's explain that threat perception. There is a threat. In this situation, that the threat is from inside and external. Inside is from the people, and this is from employee. And then the other is emotion and risk perception and prejudices and discrimination, disaster and panic. I want to ask about this, overcome this crisis to the people and believe that this is a real disease of COVID-19, and then to give overcome to the people how to be confident to the people to this crisis, Mr. Rudy. Thank you for my question.
Okay.
Do you understand what I say?
Yes, yes, of course. Thank you, Pak Zainuddin, for the question. I think you know, people panic, especially when they are in crowds and when a thing like the COVID crisis is going on. Many of their personal longings are frustrated, and then you start to panic. We've seen this at the beginning of the crisis in across Western Europe, where people started to buy toilet paper. You know, how crazy can it get? People, yeah. And that was just a panic reaction, because what's the use of having your whole house full of toilet paper in a crisis like this? But it happened. But it also happened with business across Western Europe. And what you could see is that people who were hit in their business, they try to deny that there was anything the case at all. So this was what I talked about, the misinformation and conspiracy theories. Also in the Netherlands, you have a fairly large group who think there is no virus. There's absolutely no virus. And you don't need to get vaccinated because there's nothing out there, despite the fact that we have every day there are almost 5,000 cases in the Netherlands, and people are still dying from the virus. But of course, it's understandable, because if you have to accept that something is really very wrong, you tend to panic. And if you panic, that can have very negative effects. Also, especially if you are in charge of a business or a company, or doing research at a university like I do. So there is a thing of striking a balance between being worried, which is a positive thing because then you're very alert, or panicking, which is the other end of the scale. It's an extreme. So again, it's trying to stay in a healthy mindset, to strike a balance between being worried, being anxious, and overreacting in terms of panic or just giving up hope, that sort of thing. And I think more SSH research in this could really help the policymakers to devise policies and interventions in the public life, as we see that now across the world, where businesses have been locked down or closed, or people don't get money or have to go out on the street to earn their livings and that sort of thing. So I think SSH research in this would be very good, a good thing for the future pandemics, because there will be other pandemics. I hope that's goes some way in the direction of an answer to your question. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you, Pak Zainuddin. For the next question, please.
Yeah.
Before I read the question in chat Zoom. Okay, Mr. Henry.
Okay. I want ask to Professor Ngon. I saw in your presentation media, there were student and lecturer working at a workshop or laboratorium. Do you have any special program for students to produce, to design devices or to against pandemic in your country?
Okay, to Prof. Ngon.
Yeah.
You get the point from Mr. Henry.
The connection is not so good. Can you speak again?
Okay, Mr. Henry, can you repeat the question?
One more?
Yes.
Yeah. Prof. Ngon, I want to know, is there any special program for your student to design or to produce or to produce tool or devices for COVID pandemic? Yeah, most students design some tool for pandemic purposes or for the general purposes.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for your question. So you know that we try to encourage our students in innovation. And before coming to one specific project, students need to look around the community, and they look to try to find the idea that the society needs. And after that, they develop the production like prototype. For example, in the COVID time, students understand that people need to use some equipment for antivirus, for example, things like that. And then they try to develop some special case. And after getting prototype, we try to connect with industry to produce if possible, things like that. So we can say that's one specific program. And we also offer some other students from before the COVID. We also getting students from Thailand and Taiwan also. And after this time, if possible, we also prefer to getting students from Malaysia, from Indonesia, for example.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ngon. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Anyone who want to address the question directly? Okay, please, Mr. Tatang, Pak Tatang, take your time.
Thank you, moderator. Ms. Dila, I'm Tatang Sudrajat from University of Sanggabuana, Bandung. To Dr. Retno, first to Dr. Retno, I think if we discuss about public leaders, the grand problem in Indonesian case is poor in consistency. Poor in consistency in meaning that difference of what leaders speak today and what they do day to day in political and governmental decision in relation with public interest. What your opinion about that? Second, to Dr. Rudy, concerning about research topics. One is in social science, art, and humanities is political polarization. So in Indonesian case today, I think I agree with your opinions. And in reality, political polarization especially in pandemic case, maybe it tradition and continue in political competition in presidential election 2 years ago. I think polarization is so in social media, between supporter from in relation with 2 years ago in presidential election. What's your opinion, Dr. Rudy? Thanks.
Thank you, Pak Tatang. For the first question addressed to Ibu Retno, it is about the consistency between statement and action, right, Pak Tatang, from our leaders. Ibu Retno, ini Ibu, konsistensi antara pernyataan sama tindakan pemimpin kita ini yang kadang beda-beda, mendapatkan kepercayaan publik.
Okay, maybe not only leaders in Indonesia, but like that, but we as Indonesian people must be support the leaders in Indonesia for Indonesia to progress, but and prioritize welfare of the people. Maybe please we support leadership public in Indonesia. Okay, thank you, Mr. Tatang.
Okay, thank you. For the second question, Rudy.
Thank you, Pak Tatang, for this question. I think this is a very topical question at the moment. If you on political polarization, and also I would like to chip in on what Dr. Redno said. There is, if you look at the United States of America, and you've seen there have been elections, 4 years ago, and Trump was elected there, and there has been a huge discrepancies about what he says and what he does. And that is also the case in other countries. I only read this morning that Boris Johnson, there is an official policy that you have to go into a retreat, self-isolation if you have been in contact with another person. Everybody in the UK has to do that. That's a rule and regulation, no exceptions. And it appears that yesterday he was in contact with someone who has been tested positive for COVID, and he refuses to go into isolation. Now that's a clear discrepancy about what a leader, a very visible person, is doing and what he's saying that other people should be doing. So there seems to be a rule for the top leaders and the general public. And if you do that, you show very bad leadership, and you breach the trust that people will have in the policies and rules and regulations. And the same happened with Trump in the United States. It was highly political, polarized, and it's even now the case that if you take a vaccine, you are in the Democratic camp, and if you refuse a vaccine, you're a good Republican. And of course, taking a vaccine or not has nothing at all to do with politics or with which party you vote for. And I can see that the same thing happens in Indonesia. And the thing that SSH research could do is to disentangle the health problems and the problems in anxiety from a political position, because the virus is not member of any party. It's just a virus which attacks us all. So I think showing leadership, showing that we are all in this together, you as leader or as the president of a large country are no exception. You're exactly the same as the man around the corner leading a small business or a small shop. We're all in the same boat, and we all have to comply with the same rules and regulations and try to circumvent political polarization, however difficult that is in the current society across the globe. Well, that would be my reply.
Thank you, Rudy. And now I want to read the question from chat Zoom. For the first question from
me.
No, you are not the first, Mr. Henry. There is someone else to address the question.
I want to ask to Ibu Retno in Bahasa.
Okay, but
Yeah, I know.
I want to.
Yeah, other one. Okay, thank you.
I want to read the question first from chat Zoom. This is from Ibu Yesi Christina Ventar. This question from Dr. Mimi, Miss Memianti. The new norms today that changed into online system actually cannot implement it to all places. For example, our place have limited internet connection. Even some places do not have internet connection. And it really influences educators here because they should adapt with new norms, but it is not supported by the technology to run the online system. Do you have any suggestion about that condition? Thank you. From Ibu Yesi to Dr. Mimi. Please, Dr. Mimi.
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Dila, Ibu Yasi. To answer your questions, I'm very loath to quote Malaysia is in the progress of helping the nation. Yeah, why I say this? I forgot to mention that University Technology Mara has 14 campuses throughout Malaysia. 14 campuses throughout Malaysia. So when we're talking about 14 campuses throughout the Malaysia, means that some campus in the city center, yeah, for example, like Shah Alam, Selangor, Kuala Lumpur. But some campus is in the rural area, whereby we have students facing difficulties to get the internet access. Yeah, so we are progressing slowly but surely. Of course, the very important role is a university and government. Yeah. They should be able to provide, I would say, budget allocation to have the internet access. Yeah. So what we do, yeah, in UiTM, because we have 14 campuses throughout Malaysia, university should be the starter point. Yeah, you should, of course, they will have a very good communication with the government to say that what are the challenges facing our students, because we have a huge number of students to be compared with the other university in Malaysia. So we start with the subsidy or incentive given to the student by having a free data. And the second step is that, of course, we ask government to penetrate the rural area, especially we have 14 campuses, especially for those areas in the rural, try to get, I would say, research or so-called as targeted location to ensure that the internet access can be provided to the community. So if you aware in the newspaper, we have student studies at the tree with the specific, we call in Malay, pepondok, yeah. And we also, if you aware, we also have student studies on the field, because due to the very difficult to get the internet access in Malaysia. But we are progressing well in the sense that Malaysian government trying so much to help the nation. So so far, this is like the third semester. Yeah, we are having learning at home, and our students scattered throughout Malaysia. Yeah, I believe when you're talking about Indonesia, you're a very huge country. But slowly but surely, I think the top management in university should start by communicating to the government how to help university. Because we always believe the leader come from the university, am I right? So Please help nation. That will be the key word in any effort that you do for the nation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Mimi. And it is still from you, Dr. Mimi, from the question from Pak Iwan Febrianto. Because of the pandemic, all activities on campus are done online. What about activities that require a practicum laboratory?
Okay, thank you.
From Pak Iwan.
Okay, thank you, Pak Iwan. All right, we also have programs that require students to be in the campus. Yeah, for example, we have like 14 weeks, yeah, for one semester, and usually several weeks, yeah. For example, like engineering student, yeah, applied science students, yeah, even medic students, some of the medic students, they have to be in the campus. So what we did, or what we do now, yeah, what we did is the previous 2 semester, and what we do now is that we have the unit specifically handling the students. So we collect data from the faculty, respective faculty that having to say that they have to call back the student in the campus. Yeah, so we have special provision. This is the good thing, that we have special provision to allocate, yeah, some sort of like budget to give to the faculty to call back their student in the campus, provide the facility in the campus to ensure that they can get the best possible the education or the knowledge itself. So it happened in University Technology Mara for engineering faculty. So that engineering, they have to do that because there is no way to do at home. So I think again and again, like I said, top management in the university shall be a very good communicator to the government. And usually we do it in the batches. Batches means that we ensure 40% only student can 40% only student can be in the campus and in the hostel. So that is the way. Yeah, it is difficult, but believe me, it is manageable. Yeah, if you want, you can do it. I always believe that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mimi. You are a very optimistic person, and we need it actually for this with this situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And the next question for Mr. Afinas Pawar. The first question from Pak Iman Firmansyah. Bagaimana? How the Indian government solved the situation until the business running? The second question, it is still for Mr. Afinas Pawar. From Bapak Zainuddin, various business such as hotels and airlines cut salaries and laid off employees. How is overcome this crisis in India for people who lost the job? And for the third question, still from for Mr. Afinas. To Prof. Afinas, this is from Seng Hansen, from Pak Seng Hansen. To Prof. Afinas, thank you for excellent presentation. I agree that despite negative impact of the COVID-19 outbreak to industry, it also provides new challenges and opportunities for development. The construction industry, which has long neglected the digitalization, now are trying to catch up with this innovation to tackle some challenges related to physical distancing and remote working. Now we are using drones to monitor the on-site work progress as well as cloud computing to store and work collaboratively and remotely from home. I think the similar situation is happening in other industries as well. I think this is not question, right, Mr. Seng Hansen? Okay, so there is only 2 questions for Mr.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the questions.
Okay, thank you.
The first question, I think it's more about how the government is taking action for dealing with the COVID-19 situation. as we discussed, like every business, every institution is affected because of COVID-19 pandemic. The government has initially started, raising the funds for supporting the business. So that was the first step which they have taken to support the activities of business. Secondly, government has also started providing free vaccination to all the people, so that the impact of COVID-19 can be reduced. And thirdly, government have also supported for integration of various technologies, like a lot of IT companies in India. They have started, helping even the smaller businesses, and government have taken initiative to, make those IT companies work, even for smaller companies. So that interference of the government has helped lot of businesses, to streamline their business activities using information technology. And moreover, on the economic front, I think government has taken a lot of initiatives to boost the GDP, and working on exports, and giving lot of attracting more investments from various sectors. So these are some of the policy initiatives taken by the government. With respect to the second part of the question, which is related to hospitality and tourism, I think one of the biggest hit of pandemic was hospitality and tourism industry, especially in a country like India. Lot of service sector employees are working in this particular industry. So again, it still, I mean, even today, it is a challenge to make, to bring the hospitality sector on the track. Because people are not going to restaurants because of fear. People are not traveling. People are not ready to go for vacation. So due to all these constraints, the hospitality sector is still impacted. But recently, government have started some of the has opened some of the tourism destinations, and likely in some period of time, I'm sure that we will again have a tourism business in a better way. For example, guys, in a country like Thailand, which is predominantly based on tourism, they have again, they are also facing such type of challenges. So I think one of the best way to deal with this is bring get more vaccination, and make sure that you start doing the business activities in the smaller form. Like in India, lot of hotels or restaurants, they have started small, I would say, home deliveries to customers. That model has helped a lot of restaurant businesses. So I think that I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Happiness. And it is still question from for you from Pak Teddy Fauzi. Mr. Happiness, is that some cases in your country about decline in capital market investment, and how investors or traders respond that stock remain attractive to investors? How does the attraction of share become one of the profitable investment targets? This is one of the big hit for our economic in Indonesia. Maybe, I don't know, in India.
Yeah. Thank you, Teddy. A very nice question from you. I welcome you, brother, for this discussion. So even the stock market has impacted due to COVID. But government have taken initiative to attract more investors from China, basically the American, European companies who have invested in China. India wanted those businesses to catch up, and they start doing some investment in business operations in India. So recently, I think around 300 new businesses are proposed, and which will be coming soon in India, and they have already started the investment procedure through government activities. So I'm sure in future there is going to be a upward trend in the business And maybe, China will have more implications. I think a lot of companies have disinvested from China, and they're interested to invest in countries like India, Indonesia, Vietnam. So in future, I think it's going to be a good, I would say, business platform for a country like us. So yes, Teddy, it's going to be good for all of us.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Thanks,
Afi.
Agnes.
Anyone to address another question to the keynote speakers, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Henry, you still want to ask question? To address the question? The last maybe for Ibu Retno from the chat Zoom, still from Pak Tatang, it is about the consistency of our leaders. Maybe you want to develop your answer, Ibu Retno? Mau menambahkan jawabannya? Still mute, Ibu Retno. Ibu Retno mentioned, you mentioned before that we have to support our government in this situation, but our problem is about the consistency among the statement and the action, and how to build the trust from the people. So maybe you have another notion or idea about this situation. Still mute, Ibu Retno? Your voice still, your mic still mute.
Oh,
yes.
My problem, my laptop. Just a minute. Yeah. And this is, in general, the problem of adaptive challenge is related to humans. Human as creators who are built with various emotion, need, and emotion approach to solve adaptive challenge. Maybe public leadership in Indonesia, adaptive challenge, not technical approach. Yeah, maybe I'm to answer for Mr. Tatang. Yeah, please, Ms. Dila.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Retno.
Adaptive leadership for support leadership public.
Okay. So we go to the last. Maybe we need additional statement from Prof. Teddy. You want to make the closing statement? Mr. Teddy? Or by Henry, you want to address one more question? Still mute, Mr. Henry. Your mic still mute. Your speaker still mute.
I want to tell you that Mr. Teddy went to the mosque.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Time is over.
Oh, okay. Thank you for all the prominent keynote speakers, for all the participants and co-hosts for attending this very attractive discussion for today's conference. Thank you. Thank you for Prof. Nguyen Chingon, to Prof. Teddy, and Ibu Dr. Mimianti Rahim, and for Ibu Retno P. Setianingrum, and for Dr. Afinas Pawar, and the last for Dr. Rudy Trinis for your insightful notions to our conference today, and hopefully we can at least we can give our contribution as scholars to be part of a solution of this situation. And we need to gather all parties to support our government, our people, to cope with this situation and ending this problem according to the impact of the COVID going to the post-COVID era. Thank you for all speakers and participants. Now we are going to the photo session, and the committee will prepare for shoot. Can start now. One. A second. 1, 2.
Yeah.
3. 4. Okay. Thank you, the committee, for shooting our pictures. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the closing statement and announcement from the committee. It will present by Ibu Kamila Sadiah, SAMAK. Take your time, Ibu Kamila.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank all participants of the second International Conference on Innovation in Social Sciences, Education, and Engineering in 2021 for your participation and cooperation in this event. Thank you to all keynote speakers, Associate Professor Nguyen Chingon from Chanto University, Vietnam, Associate Professor Dr. Rudy Trinis from Radboud University, Nijmegen, the Netherlands, Associate Professor Dr. Afinas Pawar from Pune University, India, Dr. Mimianti Abdul Rahim, FCIS from University Technology Mara, Malaysia, Associate Professor Teddy Hafauzi, MSc from Pasundan University, Indonesia, Dr. Retno P. Setianingrum, SAMM from Pelita Bangsa University, Indonesia. Thank you for the informative and insightful presentation. We hope that this event will give a good advantages to all participants. For this event, there are several presenters, participants, and co-hosts consist of 8 universities from STEMI Krosma, Institut Bisnis dan Informatika Kwekianji, Universitas Bina Sarana Informatika, Universitas Islam Riau, Universitas Islam 45 Bekasi, Universitas Dharmabangsa Medan, Sekolah Tinggi Bisnis dan Manajemen 2 Saudara Bitung, and the last, Universitas Kristen Tentena. And 70 presenters from 3 countries, from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. This conference activity in collaboration with Chanto University, Vietnam. On behalf of PT Leo Jejaring Ilmu, we would like to say thank you for your participation. We hope to collaborate again with you and other partnership in the next conference. Ladies and gentlemen, before closing the main event session, let us inform you about we will announce the best presenter from each room after closing the conference in the main WhatsApp group. Proceeding will be published in 1 to 2 months. The next conference will be held in January 2022. Workshop International Journal Index by Scopus. And then launching of Journal Social, Politics and Humanities. Okay, and the next, launching of Journal Economic, Business and Management. Ladies and gentlemen, we also inform the next international conference held by partners from University Technology Mara from Malaysia on 27 to 29 October 2021. Okay. 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 Thank you. Yes. Okay. Thank you. We will take a short break and continue at 1:30 p.m. for a parallel session in each room. Thank you so much. Back to Dila. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Kamila, for the closing statement. Ladies and gentlemen, prominent speakers, presenters, and all participants, now we are at the end of the second international conference on innovations in social sciences, education, and engineering 2021. The topic, the role of multidisciplinary studies and innovations in facing the complexity of globalization and the impact of the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Today, Saturday, 7 August 2021, online by Zoom. Before we close our meeting today, let's close by reciting Alhamdulillah together for Muslim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Thank you. See you for the next conference, ladies and gentlemen. And for the presenters, don't forget, we still have meeting after the break at 1:30 p.m. in each room. And thank you for all the keynote speakers for your valuable presentation today. We close. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih panitia.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you semuanya.
Thank you Afi, thank you Pak Teddy, Ibu Retno.
Terima kasih panitia.
Ibu Mimi. Kita break. Ibu yang berkenan untuk meninggalkan room. Untuk para presenter, kita masih akan kembali nanti pukul 1:30 atau pukul 13.30 di masing-masing room. Yang link Zoom-nya sudah di-share di room session. Baik, seperti itu kita tutup. Silakan Bapak Ibu istirahat atau sholat atau menikmati makan siang di rumah masing-masing. Terima kasih Pak Tatang sudah bergabung.
Terima kasih Bu Dila.
Terima kasih para co-host yang sudah berpartisipasi dan aktif dalam kegiatan hari ini. Terima kasih untuk Universitas Islam 45 Bekasi. Terima kasih juga kami sampaikan untuk Universitas Islam Riau. Silakan Bapak Ibu yang mau istirahat bisa leave dari grup. Terima kasih. Bapak Ibu, mohon maaf saya close Zoom-nya. Silakan nanti bergabung pukul 1:30 di masing-masing room presentasi. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.